There we go. That looks like it's working.
Yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome to Ian and Kyle Play Versus System Incorrectly. I'm Ian and this is Kyle, and this is Kyle's feast of junk food.
Oh, it's so good. We have here a tiny pizza from Pizza Hut Express, which is like Pizza Hut, only faster, and breadsticks, which is like Pizza Hut.
Are they also from Pizza Hut Express?
I think it's likely. And then here we have some delicious kamikaze fries from Goja Kitchen, which Ian kindly picked up for me. I need to throw him money.
Nah, it was like $6. Not a biggie.
Add it to the tab, I suppose.
I ain't tracking $6.
Fair enough.
Chris wants pizza. So Chris has joined us. That's good. We're starting a little bit early tonight. Something just fell over in Kyle's apartment, and I don't think either of us is sure what it was.
Yep, but in my apartment, you just kind of get used to these things eventually.
Mm-hmm. We're starting about 45 minutes early tonight. Kyle was off work today, we just managed to get together earlier than we usually do, and didn't really run into any difficulties.
Yeah.
So, we didn't feel like sitting around for a while, so we just started streaming.
At the very least, if we're going to sit around, we're going to do it on camera.
Yep. So, last week was our 50th stream. It was pretty great. I don't have the video uploaded yet, but I do have the previous week's video uploaded.
I did see that one up, yeah.
And by that I, of course, mean I do have the video uploaded, but I'm still reviewing it, so it's not public on YouTube yet. So it should be up momentarily. And by momentarily, I mean probably sometime this weekend, which is not very momentarily.
But in the grand scheme of the universe, that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like 3 billion years ago, there weren't trees, but within the next 2 days, the video will be up on YouTube. It's amazing.
You make a good point. Boy, I'm having trouble bantering tonight. I'm a little tired. But yeah, it was a wonderful party, and Chris was here in person and played some of his decks, and there were other special surprises. So once I have that uploaded, please check it out. Probably one of our best episodes. I really enjoyed it
was a good one.
First 20 minutes or so. Shall we talk video games? How's your Titan Quest going?
It's going. I confess I've
Still
lost...
haven't finished. I'm surprised.
Well, so... as a Christmas gift, my good friend Ian got me Stranger Things.
That's true, I did. Oh! Have you been distracted by Stranger Things? It's not very long. I'm surprised.
It's not very long. In fact, you could make the case it's about 4 nights of viewing. Say Monday through Thursday of this week. And that was a fun alternative to Titan Quest. But as a result, there was not a ton of Titan Quest playing. I'm a little bit into Act 5. I'll briefly comment on Stranger Things.
Yeah, well, it was a good segue.
Yeah, I should have taken it. I sort of went by it and then turned around, drove back, and now I'm making that right-hand turn.
Your banter is also awkward tonight.
As it should be. But
ill.
I'm ill, there you go.
She is ill.
But Stranger Things was a lot of fun. I did like it a lot. I thought it was really good. There were, and I won't talk specific plot points, of course, not on the stream anyway. On the
we'll talk off stream a little bit about
it.
I think there were some things that don't like. It's a good turn your brain off kind of experience.
Yeah.
But if you hold some of the things up to scrutiny,
right,
there's a lot of things don't make a lot of sense.
There were
definitely some plot holes, and but people regarded it very highly. I was worried at first because I thought it was going to be an Ernie Klein-esque. I shouldn't insult Ernie Klein. We work with him a lot. But I thought it was going to be an Ernie Klein-esque, like, hey, you guys remember the 80s? You guys remember the 80s? You remember the 80s? And it was like that for like maybe an episode and a half. And I was really worried there was not going to be any content there, but then they had some content.
They did, and it's definitely it's very interesting. A lot of people described it as a 80s style, I'll just call it horror, I'll be generic, an 80s style horror film. I actually thought it was a very modern horror film that was very well set in a period piece setting. That is to say, a lot of the plot points and progression of it I felt was much more modern narrative. It just happened to be brilliantly using the 80s, I think, as a setting. And so, pardon my chewing, I'll wait before taking a big bite. when I'm mid Stranger Things discussion. But for example, the simple absence of cell phones has such an impact on so many points throughout the shows, and they use certain technology pieces of the time, like rotary phones, ham radio, walkie-talkies and so forth, that were like they're period piece items in the narrative, and all along the way. And I thought it's sort of like, how soon is too soon for a period piece setting? And I think they've made a case that the 80s...
I think 80s is okay now.
I think it is. I think it is. And I think that Stranger Things made a very good case for that.
I also feel like, and this is sort of a broader commentary on pop culture, I feel like it might be the last era where you can kind of have a distinctive period setting. Or maybe that's just my perspective from here. Yeah. But like, if you say I want to make something set in the 80s, well, that evokes in my mind a bunch of stuff. I can go, and this, that, and the other. If you say it's set in the 90s or like the 2000s, I don't know what interesting I can put in those settings that really makes it feel distinctly 90s or the 2000s, except for the ways in which the 80s kind of bled into the early 90s. Like a lot of stuff I attribute to the 80s is actually early 90s stuff, but in my head it's sort of the 80s era of things.
Yeah, I think somewhere in the mid-90s that we really transitioned in a lot of ways into the modern era, and there's some exceptions to that. Cell phone technology is a good example that continued to progress very heavily. But when you get into the late 90s, early 2000s, the difference is less so whether or not cell phones exist and more so simply the size of them, right? Like, so when you think about that setting and the way things advance...
and if you want to have your mind blown, this is both a commentary on sort of anchoring yourself in time with technology like that, and how incredibly long this series has been going. If you go back and watch the very first Mission Impossible, and I mean the modern one, the Tom Cruise one, nobody has cell phones because it was set in a period where nobody has cell phones, and it's really bizarre to watch a ostensibly modern spy movie where nobody has cell phones.
That is pretty amazing. Our series has been going a while. Was it that early?
It was 96. I think 96 was...
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That is weird. That is a long time
ago.
Tom Cruise is weird.
He is weird. He doesn't seem to be aging a lot.
He needs to start doing that because it's weird.
I think he just gets shorter.
It's the crazy.
But yeah, going back to Stranger Things, generally speaking, I enjoyed it pretty much the whole way. And I do think that by and large, the first episode is very much establishing the period itself, which could lend you to believe it isn't necessarily going to go much of anywhere except reminding you that it's the period, but I think it does move on reasonably well enough with its narrative. And so I definitely enjoyed it, yeah. And offline we can talk about a handful of plot points where I'm kind of like, you're reaching a little, or, these characters' motivations feel a little lost here, or why did this person do that? There were a handful of those, but it moved at a speed well enough that I never felt that it got bogged down by that. And I don't think you were supposed to be thinking about it too heavily.
No, absolutely. Like I said, it was not something that I was in the moment going like, this is stupid, or this doesn't make sense. It was like, oh, this is a fun ride. And then, days later it was like, wait a minute, something's not right there. I think it's a little overrated. I would definitely say it's good. It's like a B, and I don't mean like a B movie. I mean like on a grading scale, I'd give it a B. I don't think it's an amazing experience, but it's a good experience.
Yeah, I might go B plus A minus, so in the same ballpark. Yeah. I would not go A plus, but I will give it some points for, I think, the novelty factor. I can't think of anything that I would directly compare it to that's been released really in the past decade in terms of its tone and feel.
Right.
So it gains some points there, I think, simply because there isn't competition in whatever that space is that it defines, or that genre, 80s setting.
And what's his nuts, Hellboy.
He was really good.
He's a great actor, it turns out.
Really good.
And I'd seen him in a couple of things, and he was just, but in this he was really good. What's his name? Share his name for our streamers.
Is it
David Harbour?
David Harbour?
David Harbour?
Yeah.
No, he was solid.
I was impressed.
He has a U in his name.
Dervid Harbour.
No.
Dervid Harbour.
Harbor is spelled the British
Alright.
way.
David Harbour.
David. Yeah, I it's funny you should say that, actually. I think generally one thing that I felt pretty impressed by is I felt like most of the performances were credible. I can't really single out. I even thought the kids were good, and kids
They
are
were pretty
never
good. I mean, you know, they're still kids. Some of them were a little hit or miss.
Yep,
but
I agree.
It was
some
better
were
than your average kid actor performance, I would say.
which is
In
important
a TV series.
Yeah.
I think Mike and Dustin are a little better than.
Yeah, I think
I
Lucas.
kind of feel like Dustin is better than Mike.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't remember any of the characters' names.
That's
so.
fair. Dustin is memorable for not having his front teeth. Or perhaps not memorable, given that blank expression. He definitely is the most adorable.
Curly hair.
Yeah.
Like the curly hair.
Curly hair.
You can say he's chubby. It's okay.
Yep. That's also
Well, I
a
remember-
fair assessment.
I feel like the tooth is more memorable.
Yeah, that is the thing that I remember. But he enjoyed his snacks. He's the one that hunted the pudding. In some of his climactic pudding hunting moments. But yeah, I actually thought Why Not a Rider was really good. As like sort of a.
She's a good actress.
Again, we're not talking specific plot details, but I would just say stressed mother
Mm-hmm.
was her core role, and boy, she was a stressed mother. And all the characters, there were a lot of moments where I just felt like they could have gone for the low-hanging fruit of what a particular archetype was, and they didn't a lot more than I expected. And even with David Harbour's character, when you think about how he's introduced, if you remember that.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I watched this 3 years ago or whatever.
Sure,
when it was new.
when it was fresh, yeah.
I guess it was 2 years ago.
But he has a wonderful arc, and the way that the complexity of that character and the depth of that character is revealed is pretty clever. Pretty clever writing, pretty clever stuff. And it builds to some very climactic moments where there's a lot of really legitimate feels.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So
Yeah,
good choice.
Excellent choice.
So that was distracting you from Titan Quest, but you're in Act 5. And
Yep. And I'm continuing to progress a little bit.
How far in Act 5?
Not super far yet. Couple hours
Be
in.
careful, you're going to lose your momentum.
Yeah,
man.
no. I guess that's part of what I'm saying is I've definitely lost a little bit of momentum, but I think I'm in a position that you are in where it's like, yes, the momentum's waning, but I don't want to not finish Titan Quest.
Yep.
So
That's kind of where you get, I think. I think that's just the nature of those games, and I think it's the fallacy of adding an expansion that's content at the end of the game. Is it just, like, my experience was I had struggled to get through basically the base game. I feel dragged at least by Act 3, and then there's an expansion that's a whole other act, which I was already a little tired of the game to go through, and then the new expansion, which is yet another act, and the new expansion is of course just a little bit longer than the previous expansion, which is a little bit longer than a normal act, I think, in both cases. So it was a long way. But anyway, I had finished Titan Quest. I don't know if I ever said that on stream. I think I finished it about 2 weeks ago.
So maybe it was mentioned.
So maybe, yeah, we might have mentioned it, but if not, that I had done it, and I actually kept playing a little bit. I was dabbling in some alternative builds in the early parts of the game just to see how things worked. But I haven't done that in about a week, so that's probably the end of it. I'll probably start something new this weekend, most likely.
Right on.
I ball in that Attack the Spire. Have you heard of that or something like that?
Not familiar.
I might be calling it the wrong name.
What's the platform?
It's a early access Steam game, which I hate early access, but whatever. And it's a roguelike RPG that uses, I think, like deck building and card mechanics in it. So it sounds a little interesting to me. So
I might have actually heard about that.
It's getting a lot of press, so yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if you heard of it.
Right.
But it sounds a little interesting, so I might give that a whirl. But there's a million things, especially in the indie space on Steam recently. There's probably like 10 or 20 games I added to my wish list in the last few months.
Right.
There's a lot of space to play in there.
Yeah.
And if I remember to, I'll probably. I should take care not to say anything about that. Nothing certainly related to
Anything.
the project I'm working on.
Nothing.
Yeah, can't talk about that. Not on stream.
Yeah. Nothing to talk about, really.
Yeah, sure, of course. So that covers video games. We can talk board games a little bit. I can finally talk freely about not Ashes. We should talk about Ashes, but I can talk freely about Gloomhaven again, which I have been playing pretty consistently weekly with Chris Larkin at my office.
Is that still going on?
It is still going on, and I've been purposely not talking about it.
Right.
Oh, Chris said something here. Yeah. Oh yeah, well, Chris, I had talked to Chris about whether or not I should start this game because it's in early access. Because I always complain about things that are in early access, and Chris says that I agreed to put it off until it was ready. I didn't agree to it, but he said I should, and I thought I'd consider it. I don't know. I don't know if it's what I'm going to play. It might not be. We'll find out. So anyway, what was I talking about? Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven I had been refraining from talking about because I was really excited about it and brought it up on the stream when Chris first started playing it with me. And I think it's a really cool game. And Chris Larkin, that is. And Chris Bauer, our viewer, did not react to it in a way that made me understand that he had also kickstarted Gloomhaven.
Right.
So Kyle and I and our friend Kevin actually had plans to purchase him the game for Christmas, but it turns out he already had a copy.
Such a good plan.
So, but usually when something like that is going on, I stop talking about it to not encourage him to go out and buy it, which it would have been difficult for him to do anyway because it was really difficult to find until a week ago, basically.
Right. Unless you're Chris and kickstarted it.
Yeah, unless you kickstarted it, and Chris kickstarted it, so that was a mistake. So we'll find something else to get Chris for Christmas. We can flip the script on him. He asked us last week, what do you want for Christmas, Chris?
Yeah.
This was that 2 weeks ago, actually. But it's fantastic. It continues to be a fantastic game. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm still mostly only playing with Chris. Kevin played one session with us, and he keeps claiming that he'll play more, but that hasn't really happened yet.
To be fair, there's a lot of the future. And within that time frame somewhere, he might play
There
with you
is a
again.
lot of the future, but if I'm guessing based on people's estimates of the amount of content in the game, I'd say we're probably about a third done with it already.
Gloomhaven.
Yeah. Although that is a lot of future still.
That's less future than infinite future, but that.
An interesting thing happened this week that I wanted to mention, and that is we hit the end of a quest line, and it was actually really confusing. Like usually when you complete a scenario, it's like, okay, here's a little story segment, and this lets you go to this area or this area. You can make a choice or sometimes. And this is the first time really we'd been playing, and it went like, good job, you did this thing. And that was it. And we're like, oh, I guess we got to go revisit one of our earlier choices or something. And, so we don't exactly know what to do there, but I'll tell you how that develops. The other thing I wanted to mention is Chris and I played Ashes last week when he was in town. You weren't here. Or you were here. You were here. You were in town, but Chris was staying with me, so we had a lot of downtime between things, and we actually wound up playing Ashes. So I don't know if Casey's here yet, but for Casey's benefit, Chris says we don't play slow. Is that still your assessment, Chris? And my games with Chris were about the same length as my games with you, about 45 minutes apiece. A little faster in some cases, a little slower in some cases, but they didn't feel slow to me. So he got a first-hand experience of how we play the game, which I don't think was tremendously fundamentally wrong. And feel free to chime in here, Chris, if you disagree.
Well, it's good for it to not be tremendously fundamentally wrong.
Well, I mean, this has always been the thing we've been talking about is is like why initially we felt some distaste. I mean, we like the game more than we dislike the game, but we felt a lot of stressors in the mechanics of the game. So some of it was to see, and these things were surprising to the people who recommended to us, which are Chris and Casey, our viewers.
Right.
So some of it was to see, like, well, did we miss something? Are we doing something fundamentally wrong that might introduce these stressors that is not something they do? And that didn't seem to be the case. And the other thing was, our initial games were exceedingly long, to the tune of 2 hours in some cases, and they gradually got faster over time, but it took us many play sessions to get to a period of about 45 minutes a game. And I think Casey said his games routinely run 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something that seemed like ridiculously short to us. So we wanted to make sure that we weren't like fundamentally doing something wrong that was causing our games to last longer as well.
Right. No
So,
obvious jump outs. There.
I didn't see Chris do anything or do anything while I was playing with Chris that he called out that seemed to be the cause of either of these differences in opinions.
Right.
So now that you're both there, you can talk amongst yourself, Chris, and you can tell Casey if we're having problems with how we play Ashes.
If we're just doing it wrong.
Yeah. And Chris did like the one trick deck I made.
It's horrible.
So he threatened to construct it and play it against Casey. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Of course, Ashes being a living card game, he has all the cards necessary to make the deck I have, because we haven't played with any of the expansions yet.
Right.
Let's see, is there anything else we need to talk about? I think that covers our usual topics, so maybe we'll jump into some Versus System here in a moment. I do have a thing that came in the mail today that I want to share. Like Kyle shared his Grim Dawn box. I actually got a Mother 2 LP. I collect LPs now because I'm an idiot. And they're nice and expensive, and I can put them on a shelf and display them. This one is
I was going to say, that looks really cool looking.
the soundtrack for Mother 2, which is known as Earthbound in the US. It's a great game. And it's good music, too. So something else from my shelf. Let's play some Versus.
Yeah, let's do it.
It had I should mention...
Are you going to want any breadsticks?
I should mention that because I've been reviewing our streams lately, I reviewed the one you had asked the question. I'm sorry, my co-host is
We're debating
reconciling some-
breadsticks.
Yeah, well, figure it out. We're live.
Do you want to save yours?
Yeah.
All right. I'll have mine. I'll have my breadsticks. Rachel will have hers later. It has been decided.
1.5.
All right.
1.5, yes, sir.
Only 3.
Yes, sir.
You had asked the question. We played. I on the last stream finally beat you with my deck, the goddamn Dark Squad.
Yeah.
Which is a deck that I had constructed many years ago, and I think is a very terrifying deck.
Yeah.
And it has done horrible, awful things to Chris.
It has.
But until last week, it had never beaten Kyle, except in the cases where his draws were so very bad that basically it's difficult
hard
to
to
attribute
validate
the success of the deck to the deck itself.
Yeah.
And last week it finally did. And
Did.
you talked on that stream. You said, "Well, I felt like I did everything right, and I'm not sure how this sort of spiraled out of control." And I said, "Well, we should review the tape," which you never do, but I reviewed the tape.
Sure.
And
And to be fair, that one's not up yet.
that one is up.
Oh, that,
Sorry,
I
that
thought
was 2 weeks. I said last week, but I meant 2
Oh,
weeks
I
ago.
see.
2 weeks ago. And it was a legit game. There were no math errors or anything unusual. It was just kind of how that deck works.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that. We should play some Versus System. Where are your decks, Kyle?
Let's talk for 2 more minutes so I can eat these breadsticks.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, breadsticks do not agree with Versus System.
That's probably true. I'd also been thinking while I was reviewing our streams, and I do intend to. So, as I said, Stream 50 should be up on YouTube this weekend.
A labor of love.
I will probably tweet that out to Upper Deck, and I'll share the link to our YouTube and the link. Or I'll share it first. So I plan to do it. This is my strat. So it's going to be a 3-part tweet, right? With those 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3s kind of thing. So the first tweet's going to be a picture of the cake. And it's going to be something like, "Hey UDE, this is a cake my friend and I had on our 50th Versus System stream." And then that'll be the first one. The second one will be like, "This is the video of that stream if you want to watch my friend fail to cut the cake with this terrible knife," etc., etc. And the third one will be like, "If you want to understand who we are and why we're playing the game wrong, here's our Twitch channel with a lot of information about it, and you can watch us live there." So hopefully they'll retweet, or I don't know. I don't know what's going to come of it, but my hope is
Fame and
someone
glory.
will take notice.
There is a chance. I mean, we've got 3 viewers right now. 2 viewers. Somebody got here by accident. I swear that said 3 when I looked over, and as soon as I said
Well, now that it says 2, that means either Casey or Chris isn't here anymore because we count as a viewer. So
Casey.
the other thing I observed while I was reviewing the videos recently is your deck selection is, and we discussed this on the description, you just kind of pick stuff you feel like playing at a time. And I wanted to ask, because I never did, do you want me to make you a bag sort? Is that something you'd be interested in? Because your deck selection is fine. I take no issue with it. but you do tend to gravitate towards some of your decks and not others. And I don't know if it's important for you to get a nice distribution in there or what. I really have no preference, so I went for the distribution route.
Right. So,
Chris says he's going to play the Ashes deck against Casey tomorrow.
yeah, wonderful. I'll look forward to hearing the
It'll be
results of that.
exciting.
Yeah, that'll be great.
He said I'm happy about this and a little alarmed by this. He said it's not the kind of deck that he or Casey would make.
Well, you like to think outside the box. That's something you do quite well.
Thank you. I take that as praise.
It's intended that way. It's definitely. I think I have a good measure of efficiency in my decks, but not necessarily like. I put spins on the stuff I think they put in there, and you find things they don't put in there. So yeah, to answer the question, I'm going to defer that to the future at some point because
You don't have to decide today. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
make the offer. Like it is. I wrote a program to do this. It's not very data driven, but it's easy. I am an engineer, so it's easy for me to make
Right.
it data driven,
Right.
and I can make it slot in your decks and
Right.
generate a sheet kind of like this, and you can go through them in order or whatever.
the secret is your decks are organized.
That's true. That's another part of the puzzle.
Which I would
figure.
do.
I figure that's the reason you don't do something like that.
It's certainly
But you know,
it's not the only factor.
Let me share a secret of my own. It's not very difficult to organize your decks. The power is within you.
Oh man,
I believe in you, Kyle.
that is profound. We're up to 4 viewers.
Seems
Okay.
exhausting
What's exhausting, dear?
organizing anything.
That's true. That's true. And we're
How's
lazy
your breadsticks?
people.
I'm running out of things to
Yeah,
say.
it's good. I'm down to just this much, which is a bite and a half of breadstick.
All right.
So just a little song and dance, a little tapping, and we'll be there. I don't know what I said.
I don't know what you mean by that, but there you go.
I'm not really sure either.
Oh, I know. I remember something I can talk about. So, for the first time, I thought of this, and I don't know why, because it's the kind of thing I would always do. But when I was reviewing our last stream, I turned on the closed captioning. And as with all videos on YouTube with automatic closed captioning, it was about 85-90% fairly accurate. You know, it wasn't sure about some of the things we were talking about because they're unusual words. People don't usually talk about superheroes as much as we do while we're playing. Oops, our battery's running low. Hurry up, Kyle. Figure out what's wrong here.
Oh, wait. I got you.
Wrong battery.
On me. We had a power failure last night.
Yay! All right, battery's back.
We're okay.
in.
We're
Sorry.
still broadcasting.
That was almost disastrous.
Yep. Yeah, we had a power failure last night, and I have these what are they called? The battery backup surge protectors.
Yeah.
Something. Anyway.
Both of those are correct.
Okay. Yeah, excellent. I will take that as gospel. But nonetheless, I had them, and they like to make noise at you when there's no power, so I had to come out here in the middle of the night and unplug them.
Okay. Well, to finish my thoughts on the
Yeah,
CC,
sorry about
sadly,
that.
Chris, I did share some of the funnier quotes with Chris on Instant Messenger, and I shared some of the funnier quotes with Kyle on Instant Messenger. I don't have any of those handy, but there were some very entertaining stuff in there. I did work out, one thing I shared with you is it kept saying music while we were playing. As though music was.
Yeah.
And I did work out after watching for a while that it does that whenever you say,
Oh, interesting. Any sort of prolonged conversation, that's kind of hilarious. Yeah, we do have a fluctuating additional viewer. I wonder if that's an echo of Christmas past or something along those lines.
Who knows? Maybe we're finally getting popular. We're ready to get into the big leagues.
That's right,
now.
big leagues now.
And we
fourth viewer.
didn't even show our 50th stream to UB
Anyone.
yet. Yeah.
Hey, it's going to happen. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so amazing.
So I think you got some deck. I think you have a deck.
I have a deck, and it's not a bad place to start.
Okay.
The deck that will be used... Yeah, let's just start with this one. It's
Okay.
good as random. That is an A deck that I have there.
I will get my A deck.
Get them A decks.
See if I remember how to play this A deck. This is a complicated A deck.
True story. Truest of tales. Yeah, so I can kind of, while you're doing a bit of rummaging, I can also do a bit of rummaging and determine what other decks I'm in the mood to play. Maybe I'll play this stupid deck.
Find my A deck.
This deck is stupid.
I think that's
Stupid
it.
deck. I don't have the energy to play that deck, but that's a good reason to try and play it.
Uh-oh. That's probably it. Yeah, that's the one. Alright, we found it. How do you play this deck? You play this GAC?
GAC. See, GAC, that's harkening back to early 90s, right?
GAC?
Wasn't
Yeah,
GAC
I guess
there?
so.
Yeah.
I kind of remember that. I'm not. Was that like a slime thing?
Yeah, it was-
by?
There was GAC.
I really vaguely remember it. Like,
Well, see, I don't like gooey
I'm
stuff,
struggling.
but I wanted to be cool, which of course you are if you have GAC. But they also had...
I have some bad news for you.
No. At the time this was true. It might be a bit dated. But if you had GAC, you were pretty awesome. But they also had what I thought was the vastly superior Floam. I don't know if you recall Floam, but Floam was basically tiny styrofoam spheres crammed into GAC. And it was less gooey and kind of generally delightful. You could put it on a table and cram your face into it and have like a face imprint. Put your hand into it and have a hand imprint. Or like a cardboard box and you'd have a cardboard imprint. It was amazing. You can imprint anything. Anything I tells you.
I'm going to choose
Ready?
the outer die.
The outer die.
I have lost.
Yes. Yes.
I think you did cut my deck. You did touch my
I
deck.
did cut your deck. While you were rattling the marbles. And by that I mean rolling the die.
Rattling the marbles?
I said that as though it were like a successful... Like, it was what I was trying to say, except that in hindsight it wasn't really a good analogy for rolling a die, so I regretted it immediately.
Mulligan that. I remember how to play this deck enough to know
Yeah, that's not
that
good.
that is a mulligan.
I'm going to go... I do remember the deck that I'm playing, which is the first step to glorious success, but what does this deck prefer? We're going to go... I think we're going to go evens. I think this is an evens deck.
Hang on, I think there's a bit of crud trapped inside this card.
Crud, this is untenable.
Yuck.
Well, leave it in there. Don't let it get all over you. That'd be nasty.
Alright, let's see. I need something to go better. Sorry, you went what?
I did go evens. I actually got to think about whether or not I keep. I think I do keep. I think I'm going to keep this hand, and it's not great. There are ways in which this is not great, but I'm going to keep this hand. And then I'm going to draw 2 cards, including this card and also this card. And I did go evens.
Alright, well, I'll be recruiting a rat catcher. Whenever rat catcher becomes stunned, each of your opponents loses 1 endurance.
Right. 1 endurance. The joke's on you. I do not have a 1-drop character.
Then rat catcher will hit you for 1.
That sure is going to work. Then I'm going to draw some cards. Okay. Alright. Yep. That was a possible outcome. I actually don't have a 2-drop either, making me second-guess that notion to keep, but that's fine.
Well,
That's fine.
we're moments from my draw forcing a concede, so we'll play a little bit further
Okay,
and see
yeah,
what
that's fair.
happens here.
That's fair.
The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal Blackgate Prison.
Oh, okay.
Blackgate Prison's power is activate, stun an Arkham Inmates character you control, draw a card. I will do that on Ratcatcher.
I
I
take
will
a damage.
take 1, and you will take 1,
Stupid Ratcatcher.
but I will draw a card.
I think there was one game where Ratcatcher dealt me like 17 damage or something. Stupid Ratcatcher.
And then I'm going to recruit the Mad Hatter.
Mad Hatter. What are you reading for Titan Quest Ragnarok?
Maybe not.
That was a funny joke if Ian had digested it there, but I...
No, I
snuck
got
it.
the
Okay,
joke.
all right,
I got the
okay,
joke.
all right.
Mad Hatter's not going to be useful anymore. But his power is... I don't think he's going to be useful anymore.
Seems unlikely.
His power is as an additional cost recruit, Mad Hatter
Reveal another Arkham Inmates character you control from your hand. I'll go ahead and reveal that I have the Ventriloquist.
The ventriloquist.
Pay 1 resource point. Move target character with cost 2 or less to your front row. At the start of the recovery phase, move that character to its owner's front row. Use this power only once per turn.
Awful had I had a drop. However, since I do not have a drop, I'm going to pass.
Well, thank you for one.
That'll be successful. I'm all the way down to 47.
All right, here we go.
You've done me a
Here we go.
damage a turn. What the heck? That might be better, but this could be worse. I suppose I'll just do some things and we'll see what happens. It's your initiative.
Yep, I'm going to stun Ratcatcher again.
Yep.
And then I can see.
Do you want to just do a quick rematch?
Yeah, we should. We should. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 cards, and I didn't get a thing I needed.
A thing that you have 4 of, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
I have my suspicions about what that deck is. Not just any deck would get a concede at that point without getting a card.
It should be pretty obvious what the deck is at this point.
Yes. But nonetheless, we'll go again as though I know nothing and see what happens.
It doesn't going to change the outcome. It doesn't going to change it.
Doesn't gonna change.
I am tired tonight.
Yes.
Exciting.
How novel. Only that it's not. Only that it's not.
So let's get that one card that I need that's really important.
Yeah, that important card. I am, however, going to return my life total 50.
I won't.
Aha! I have an advantage. You want to roll again? You want to just?
It doesn't matter. Up to you.
Sure. Well, I'll roll.
Going to Mulligan.
I'll roll, and I will call it. The inner die served me well last time, so we'll go inner.
You've lost.
I have lost.
I don't think I have a preference. I think I go. I'll just go odds. I don't remember. I don't remember the bits I need.
Right.
There is a preference, but I don't remember it.
I am keeping. That's cool. Interesting. I'm sorry, did you go evens or odds?
I went odds.
Oh,
so I'll recruit Ratcatcher again.
Oh, it's that guy. It's that rat catcher. I do have a 1-drop this time. It's Remram. Everybody remembers Remram. He's a reservist. He says, when I recruit him, I can reveal, or rather, I must reveal the top 4 cards of my deck, which is this card, followed by this card, and this card, but also this card. I then may put a revealed reservist card into my hand and put the remaining cards on the bottom of my deck. And I will do so.
Literally all of them, isn't it?
It is all but the plot twist. But it is all... I don't remember if there's like one character that doesn't have that property. But yeah, I'll just
All right,
take
well,
next one.
I will pass.
And I'll pass also.
Interesting.
That's right, you weren't ready for that.
I wasn't.
Now it is I who have the initiative. I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to recruit Chrome. At the start of my attack step, I may exhaust a target unprotected visible character if its cost is less than or equal to the number of face-down resources I control. And that is what Chrome does. Get him, Chrome.
Yep. I suppose I will recruit Two-Face.
Two-Face.
Two-Face's power is activate, flip a coin. If you win the flip, KO target stunned character.
Alright. Start of my attack step. I may exhaust target unprotected visible character whose cost is less than or equal to the number of face-down resources. I guess I'll exhaust Two-Face.
Alright. I'll reveal that I have rigged elections.
What?
Ongoing, exhaust an Arkham Inmates character to put a ballot counter on rigged elections. If there are 25 or more ballot counters on rigged elections, you win the game. I'll exhaust my team to put 2 ballot counters on rigged elections.
Yes, you will. I'm going to attack Two-Face for 3.
Yep. I'm going to take 3.
I will take 2, 3, 4 from that.
No, Ratcatcher just... when he becomes stunned, you lose an endurance.
When he becomes stunned?
Yeah.
In that case, I will take 2 for that. Then, assuming you pass, let me ask that question.
Yeah.
I'm going to attack Ratcatcher.
I'm going to take 1, as will you.
As will I.
I'm going to reveal that I have gone, but not forgotten.
Oh.
Ongoing, whenever a character is put into your KO pile from play, you gain 2 endurance. I think that means for this case. I think.
For this case, yeah, I think at any time, yeah. It doesn't specify from combat, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I think the way that...
The weird thing I'm not sure about is from play. It's kind of weird.
It says from play?
So I can't discard to do it, but I think once they're...
It would include anywhere from the play field. What's weird about this is it wouldn't be able to save you from a death state because the character would enter the recovery pile after the death check happens in a turn. Having said that, you would indeed gain life there. I will recover my duds.
Your duds.
My duds. Now it is your initiative.
Yep. I'm going to recruit the ventriloquist, Scarface. His power is, while in the front row, the ventriloquist gets +2 attack, and I may activate to give front row Arkham Inmates characters +1 attack while attacking this turn. I can only do that while he's in the support row. But I'll activate him to put a counter on rigged elections.
Right.
Then I reveal that I have Blackgate Prison.
Oh my.
Activate stun on Arkham Inmates character control to draw a card.
So you shall.
I'm not done.
Okay, alright, that's good.
2 more resource
That's
points.
very true.
I will use 2 of them to recruit Firefly.
2 resource points spent on the same character. What?
Yes, whose power is activate, discard an Arkham Inmate's character card from your hand, KO target location, and KO a resource you control. Use this power only during your attack step.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And you are formed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to recruit Senyaka. He's a reservist with range, which I may or may not leverage. Whenever I recruit a non-army character from my resource row, target opponent loses 2 endurance. He's a 5/4 who also has a boost of 1, which gives him additional attack based on face-on resources I control. Which, of course, I didn't get. So I didn't even think about my formation a little bit. I think I do leave everyone in the front rows. And yeah, I guess I'll just leave everyone in my front row.
Wishful thinking. I'm getting all the dice necessary to put all the counters
no, that's
on.
terrifying. That's a lot of dice.
I'm going to put 2 counters on rigged elections.
Yes. Indeed.
I think I'm going to take a bunch of damage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess the way I do it is Senyaka will attack your 2-drop, 2-face for 5.
I'll take 5.
And then I think I use Remram to attack Firefly.
I will take 2.
I am counter-stunned for 1. 6. And then I'm just itching for 3, yeah. Just 3, yeah.
Okay. Go. I believe I gain 4. Yeah.
What does Blackgate Prison do again?
I can activate to stun an Arkham Inmates character to draw a card.
Right. Now it's my initiative, so what am I going to do with that? I think what we're going to do for that is put down a resource. Then we're going to recruit Anne-Marie Cortez. And Anne-Marie Cortez is a reservist character at the start of the combat phase. You may reveal a resource. If you reveal a character card, your opponents cannot play plot twist with a cost equal to the card's cost this phase. It's also worth noting that as I just recruited a non-army character from my resource row, you are pinged for 2.
Okay. Alright, I'm going to activate the ventriloquist to put a counter on rigged elections, then I'm going to stun him to draw a card.
Good old rigged elections. I haven't seen this since the summer of '74.
It's been a while. I'm going to recruit Mad Hatter, who I read last time but is more relevant now, so I will read him again.
Yes.
As additional cost to recruit Mad Hatter, reveal another Arkham Inmates character card from your hand. I'll reveal Harley Quinn. Pay 1 resource point, move target character with a cost 2 or less to your front row. At the start of the recovery phase, move that character to its owner's front row. Uses power only once per turn. I'll also be recruiting Harley Quinn, whose power is discard Harley Quinn from your hand, power up target Arkham Inmates attacker or defender you control. Uses power only while Harley Quinn's in your hand, or activate target Arkham Inmates. Attacker or defender you control, just defenders, has reinforcement for this attack. I'm in trouble reading now too. That's exciting. So I'll be paying a resource point to get this guy.
Yep. That is unfortunate. That is unfortunate for many reasons.
I feel like I stole him once before.
Yeah,
and it was
he's
really
a-
annoying. And I don't know how I would have stolen him in a different deck.
Yeah.
Wasn't this matchup, I don't think.
So you get him at the point you recruit Mad Hatter, is that correct?
I pay a resource point to get him.
Okay. But it does happen at that point.
During the build phase, yes, at some point.
Okay. So I suppose technically that would have been after formation, so it would still be like that, which is inconsequential in this instance. Chrome's power will not fire until your attack step.
Correct.
So I must attack.
Maybe I should protect him. That's interesting.
It is possible.
I should protect him.
Yeah.
Fascinating. That's not one thing that I would
Yep.
think would happen.
I mean, I'm fortunate that your characters have low enough defense that I think I can kind of pressure you anyway to diminish his power, but I'm going to hit Harlequin. I'm not going to fire Anne-Marie's power at the start of the combat phase, which is reveal someone to block your stuff. But I'm going to attack Harley with Remram.
All right, Harlequin will. I will take 1, but I will put a counter on rigged elections.
Yeah.
And then at the start of my attack step, I may exhaust target. Unprotected visible character is cost less or equal to the number of face down resources I control. Oh, I don't have face down resources.
You do have
That's
2.
actually not. I have 1.
Oh, that's your hand. Okay. By attacking with Remram first, I was able to dodge some of that effect, but it could become increasingly an issue.
Yep.
Since you're likely to keep stealing Chrome.
But I'm going to exhaust Mad Hatter to put a counter on rigged elections and pass.
Yeah. I think the correct behavior is to hit Chrome with Anne-Marie for 8.
I will take 6. No, I will take 8.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a big hit.
it's a good hit.
I don't seem to be getting these counted very fast. I didn't have enough low-cost characters.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a successful rigged election.
It may not be. The election may not be rigged. I do assume you pass.
Pass? Yep.
And I will do the obvious and attack Mad Hatter. For
Yep.
5.
I will take 5. And you get this.
I do.
These two go. But I gain 4.
So I get him back at the start of the recovery phase. The question is, do I recover him or not? I think I still have to force you to use Mad Hatter. Use the resource point for that, so I will recover him.
That would have been useful a while ago.
Oh, that's interesting. Right. Yeah, it's your initiative now.
I'm going to pay a resource point for your dude.
Yeah.
Then, I'm going to stun Mad Hatter to draw a card.
Do you have to stun a brother? What kind of
It
character?
has
do
to be
you-
an argument maze.
Argument mates. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can't stun my my Chrome.
Perfect.
I don't like perfect.
Then I'm going to boost Mr. Zaz's.
Oh,
Whenever Mr. Zaz stuns a defender, put a 1/1 counter on Mr. Zaz. Boost 1. When Mr. Zaz comes into play, stun target character with a cost of 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on Mr. Zaz.
that's disappointing. You were stunning Remram.
Yep. Then I will recruit Scarface again. Ventriloquist.
What does he do again?
Boost characters in the front row or in the back row in a different way, but who cares?
Yeah,
He puts counters on rigged elections.
Yeah, he does. He does do that. I'm going to recruit Polaris from my resource row, which does ping you for 2.
Okay.
And then Polaris's power is activate, replace a reservist resource you control. Characters you control have flight this turn, and characters your opponents control lose flight this turn. Use only once per turn.
Okay.
Turn. She's just big.
2 every season.
Yes, that is a good way of putting it.
So what I do is I discard the Joker in order to flip No Man's Land, which you hate.
Oh god, I
So
hate
neutral
it
cost
so
to flip
much.
No Man's
So
Land,
bad.
discard an Arkham Inmates character card from your hand, activate, exhaust target unprotected character. Use this power only during your attack step. I will exhaust Polaris.
That is sad. Curse you, No Man's Land.
And then I think I will put 2 counters on rigged elections and pass. What was this?
And you need to get to 25.
25. Yeah, it's not happening. I don't
Oh
think. This
man,
game.
you're starting to get a little stasis going here, though.
Missing some important pieces.
Boy, that saved you a lot of damage this turn.
It'll save me a lot of damage every turn.
That's fair. Yeah. So I'm gonna attack Chrome with Anne-Marie again.
I'll take 6 again. Or 8. 8 again.
It is a.
She's big. I'm gonna run out of life here.
Yeah, that's the goal. Because if I don't do that, I will run out of election. I assume you pass.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I go for Zaz.
I will take 4 from that.
You do soak a little, but I still think it's the right choice. Can No Man's Land only fire during the combat phase, or is
It
it
can only fire during my attack step.
only attack step? Right. Alrighty. That's all I got. Hey, it's Chrome. I actually have to choose between Chrome and Remram. I think that's a... Well, that's actually interesting, because you can keep stealing Chrome. Do I keep Remram? You can steal him, but he's actually less useful to you. No, I guess he soaks an additional point of damage. It's still correct to keep Chrome and lose Remram. This turn will be novel. Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry, and I gained 1 set to endurance.
That's fair, that's fair. Right. And now it's evens, so it's my initiative. Right. So I'm going to recruit Unison from my resourcer. She's a 4-drop. And she says... Get out of there, die. She says, activate, discard an energy card to exhaust target character with a cost 3 or less, and draw a card. And then I will replace that, of course. Oh, apologies, I do put down a resource. Actually, I'm going to do that resource. And then, I still have 2 resource points remaining. I'm going to spend 1 of them to recruit the Kleinstock brothers, which are probably off camera, so I'm going to move my front row a little here. Which says, they're a 2/1/1 drop. They say reveal a face down resource named Kleinstock brothers, and they get +2 attack this attack. Use only once per turn. Power, which I don't know if it's ever fired. And so No Man's Land is a unprotected character, or it's any visible character? What is there any restriction on that?
Unprotected, yes.
Okay, unprotected. So we've got to protect what we can. I only have 2 characters with range, so I can't protect everyone I want to protect. I don't really care about damage. Mad Hatter is going to steal. Is he also unprotected, or is he just a visible character?
I think he's anybody 2 or less.
Okay.
Target character 2 or less.
Okay. That's okay. And yeah, then that's probably good. I don't know why I have such a hard time remembering this guy's power.
It's not relevant.
Because it's not relevant. Yeah, that's a good clarification.
I'm going to activate him. Put a counter on rigged elections. Then I'm going to stun him. I didn't ready that, but to draw a card. 1.
I am a little concerned if I don't get you this turn that you will actually get me. Because there's some tricksy thing it does in the end game, and I don't remember what it is.
I'm going to play Paralyzing Kiss. Play Paralyzing Kiss only if you control 5 or less resources. Attacker Attackers cause no breakthrough while attacking Arkham Inmates characters this turn.
Which would not include Chrome.
That's true. Then I play a resource. Then I pay a resource point to move. It's still him, right? Chrome,
I think so, yeah.
To
He's
my,
still
to my front row.
Still the better option, I think.
Then I recruit Ratcatcher, Aquarian Echo, and Professor Hugo Strange.
Oh my.
You know Ratcatcher.
I sure do.
Quarian Echo's power is I can discard them for something. And Professor Hugo Strange's power is each of your opponents must not recruit a character with the same name as a character he already controls. Really winning power there. And I can boost 1, which I haven't paid. When he comes into play, if I control another Arkham Inmates character, each of your opponents discards a card from his hand.
And did you pay that
Forced
boost?
discard. I did not.
Ratcatcher is whenever he. It's not just when he becomes stunned, isn't it? When a character becomes.
No, it's just when he becomes stunned. No, it's when a character becomes stunned. You're right. You are right.
So
he
I have
should hit you
taken-
for a little more.
Yeah,
But it doesn't matter. I ain't gonna kill you.
Sure. Nonetheless, I think it is 2 more. I was so shocked when you said that earlier, and I didn't question it at the time. Just things were moving along, but I'm like, that doesn't seem very annoying. But I hate Ratcatcher. I don't hate things irrationally.
Don't you? Don't you?
Don't we all?
I
Okay.
think I'm dead this turn, and I can't do anything about it.
Well, see... Yeah... I don't deal breakthrough against 4 of your characters. I deal breakthrough against 1 of your characters. If you've got a way to reinforce Chrome somehow, then I don't have you with certainty. I literally can't do enough damage. The question is, if you don't reinforce Chrome, I probably have a good shot at getting you. So I have to open against...
Chrome, I mean. Well, you're going to exhaust someone as well. I still open against Chrome. That is the opening play. I attack Chrome for 8.
No, I'll take 8. Again.
Yeah.
Again, 8.
Yeah, oh boy. I don't think I can get you. That's
I've got to
hilarious.
exhaust the 4-drop.
Yep.
And I'm going to just put 4 counters on wind elections.
Yep. So remind me again, do you win when you exactly get 25?
As soon as I have 25, I've won.
Okay.
Ain't going to happen.
Well, yeah. So the characters I attack are... I can't deal breakthrough against anyone that's remaining. So it's going to be... I need to take a damage for Chrome being stunned because of Ratcatcher. And then I believe I attack Do I attack Ratcatcher with one now? I attack with Senyaka. Deal you 1 and me 1. You 1 and me 1.
I pass.
41. I'm then going to attack the Mad Hatter for 2. I will also take 1 of them counterstunned.
Yeah, you got me. Right?
I can't deal breakthrough.
But it's enough.
Do I actually? Maybe I do. My math was such that I thought I couldn't, but it looks like it. Yeah. So I attack Hugo Weaving over there.
I take 2.
Yeah.
0. 15 counters, that's a sad performance for this deck. If it goes right, I can win at the start of 6.
Jeez.
If it goes drastically wrong, the plan is to win at the start of 7, and it doesn't look like I was going to win at the start of 7.
Yeah. Well, that's a deck where one of the superpowers that it has, is if I don't match you on the early turns, I'm probably at a severe disadvantage because the momentum is hard to come back from. But I did in this particular draw manage to match you on the early turns, so it just put you down. All I got to do is keep you down 1 or 2 characters below the threshold, and if I do that, then you're down that 1 or 2 every turn, and that's the counter difference.
Well, what actually caused me to lose the game is I didn't have enough cheap characters early. I should have been recruiting bunches of 1s and maybe 2s each turn, and I was forced to recruit 2s and more.
Yeah, I don't know if it's how possible it is to beat that deck as much as it is a state of always hoping the deck beats itself, which it does frequently enough. It's an A deck.
I mean, you're right. Your counterplay is correct. You can rush it down.
Rush it with early game pressure. There are some counterplays.
That buys you the time, and like I said, I usually run out of life between 6 and 7.
Right.
Like I usually don't get through 6.
Right. Yeah. It's funny, there's one card in here that strips reinforcement. I didn't actually get it. It's a character. But that doesn't affect stupid paralyzing kiss because it just prevents breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't reinforce, it just prevents breakthrough. Which is funny.
And now we won't see Arkham Inmates with the weird elections for years and years and years again.
Or one bag swords worth. We'll just go right up the stack here to double A.
Okay. This one's a fun one. We haven't seen this one in a while either.
Oh boy.
I guess that's true of literally all of my decks because of the bag sword.
Right.
We haven't seen them in a while.
Right.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah.
I missed this one.
Do not know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a neat trick. Flip the divider out, but it didn't matter. I'll just stick it in somewhere else.
Good times.
Why do I have cards facing both directions then?
That does
That's not
seem
what you want.
atypical.
Alright, round one goes to Kyle.
Rigged Elections is a weird deck. I never know what's going on.
I wish I got to show it working better. I mean, you could see the momentum being picked up.
It was
there.
starting to get there, yeah. Well, once you, especially
I'm supposed to do
once
that
you
like
get
a
the
turn
stasis,
earlier.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
No, it's scary. Rigged Elections is scary.
You're scary.
Unlike the goddamn Dark Squad, which gets lucky every 8 years.
Aw.
But Rigged Elections is terrifying.
And then the cool thing is, I use powers like. Unfortunately, I was not able to see. Like, if you had a 2-drop with range,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could have protected and then
And then
attacked with him,
attacked,
and
yeah.
that's super useful. So I use powers like Mad Hatters and Zaz to sort of control the early game.
No, it's really annoying. I hate it. I don't hate it, like, hate it, but it's an odd fight. I am going to go the Inner Die, because that's worked well half the time. Not, now less than half the time, if you get dibs again.
Oh. These guys go odds. This is...
God, that's awful. I have to keep that.
I think I throw this. It's really weird to throw something in this deck.
I have kept, and then I drew some cards. And
good, that's
and
what you were
then-
supposed to do.
And then emotions.
Ooh, I got the thing, I love the thing, the thing is in my hand.
Yeah.
So... the thing goes here.
Did you say odds or evens?
I said I went odds.
Okay. Take us away, then. Take us away to Lollipop Lane.
I'll not recruit a 1-drop, though, I think is the correct thing to do in this circumstance.
I'm with you, Ian. Let's not recruit
All right.
1-drops. I'm with you. Oh, deck. You so did things. Now, however, it is my initiative, so that's kind of spicy. I have everybody's favorite character, Blackbriar Thorn. Blackbriar Thorn has a willpower of 1.
Oh no.
He also has, whenever you play a magic plot twist, he gets a 1/1 counter.
I don't need a 2-drop either.
So, yeah, that's good. I'm going to take it for 2.
Take 2.
Ha-ha! Aha.
Now I think the period of my handicap should be over, though. So
Be a good time for that. You don't have to go on too long. It is your initiative. That's going to be useful. You have the thing.
I do have the thing.
You have the thing. My
now-
draw, man.
Now I have a choice. That's interesting. It's got to be this.
Gotta be.
Gotta be this. I
Gotta
couldn't
be
do it
this.
like that. All right, I'll be recruiting Mr. Zaz.
Yeah.
Mr. is a different Mr. Zaz, but same guy.
Hmm.
Reservist. Mr. Zaz gets -1/-1 for each character adjacent to him. And now I play the thing. I love the thing. It's the best thing.
No.
Arkham Asylum.
Oh, no.
Flip only if you control an Arkham Inmates character. To flip, choose 2 different team affiliations. I choose Revenge Squad and Gotham Knights. Insanity.
Crossover Arkham Inmates and those affiliations. I love this card.
So good.
You don't need the affiliations, you just pick them.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So, Arkham Inmates, Revenge Squad, and Gotham Knights are all teamed up now.
Yep.
Because I'm insane.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I'm going to recruit Zatanna. Zatanna is a 4/5 with range who has a willpower of 2. Blackbriar Thorn has a willpower of 1. Fun fact. It's just the ruffles. Whenever you play a magic plot twist, you may pay 3 endurance. If you do, draw a card.
I'm worried because you have a lot of life and that's your other win condition.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm going to take Blackbriar Thorn.
What? How
6.
could you? It is a lot.
Do I do that? No, that's dumb. I'm gonna play Spirit of Nabu. Spirit of Nabu. Ongoing pay 2 endurance. Target character controls flight and range this turn. Use only once per turn.
What? That's a magic plot twist.
Yes it is. I think it is. Yes it is. I'm gonna attack Zatanna.
Glad we got there. Right.
For 6.
For 6. I'm going to flip up Magical Conduit, which is a magic plot twist. Put a counter on Blackbriar Thorn. Also, it's a magic plot twist, so I'm going to pay 3 life to draw a card.
Okay.
And then, as an additional cost to play Magical Conduit, pay X endurance, and I'm going to pay 4.
Whoa.
Target Shadowpact attacker or defender you control gets plus X attack this attack, and cannot cause breakthrough this attack. So I'm plus 4 attack.
Alright, well, I'll be counterstunned.
Your attack is 6. I'll take a breakthrough. And 3. Oh, I'm gonna do one more thing. It won't change the outcome of that attack, but I am gonna flip up Spirit of Nabu, which is a magic plot twist.
It sure is.
Ongoing. Pay 2.
You don't need to read it. I just read it.
Fine. But I'm gonna pay 3 endurance before the stun goes through to draw an additional card.
Aha.
Also puts a counter on Blackbriar Thorn.
That's true. You hit me for 4?
And then I take the damage, which is 4.
And you hit me for 4?
And then I hit you for 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice one.
So far, so good.
So 4, so good.
Far is what I said.
Mm-hmm. That's what we said. 4 is good. Right.
That's fascinating.
And
fun.
3.
And I'm going to do it now.
You would. Are you going to do it right now?
Makes me wish I
Very
did that card
second?
before. Well, you have initiative, so
do.
Not quite.
Okay. So I'm going to flip up Divination. As an additional cost to play Divination, discard a Shadowpact character card, which will be 6 cost Zatanna. And pay 3 endurance, which will be 3 endurance. Also, it's a magic plot twist, so Blackbriar Thorn gets a counter. Also, I'll pay 3 endurance to draw a card. Then look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put 1 into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your deck.
You have a lot of cards.
I do. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. That I'm doing. Yeah, that's probably the right choice. We'll act like that was the right choice. Then it's probably that. That's annoying. Then I'm going to recruit Rose Psychic into my concealed area. Rose Psychic says at the start of the combat phase, lose 3 endurance, but at the start of the recovery phase, gain 6 endurance. And then I'm going to also recruit Madame Xanadu, who's a 1-cost character that saith, and I quote, activate if Madame Xanadu is in play.
Search your deck. It's an odd thing to have after an activated power. If Madame Xanadu is in play, search your deck for a magic plot twist card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Put her on top of your deck.
You missed a drop. That's unfortunate.
It's not what I wanted. I sure drew a lot of cards and
You're actually changing what I'm going to do.
That's cool.
I'm going to play Scree.
Scree.
Target character gets -2 defense while defending this turn and can be attacked as though it were visible this turn.
I don't like
Choose
that.
Rose Psychic.
I don't like that.
And then, I might need Chris's help with this, or maybe yours. We can figure it out. I'm going to play the Hookup. To play, choose 2 different team affiliations from among character you control. I'll pick Revenge Squad and Gotham Knights.
Sure.
Ongoing, cross over those affiliations. Discard a Gotham Knights character card to draw a card. Use this only once per turn. So I'm going to discard the Joker to draw a card. But the Joker has a discard power.
Oh my.
So what order does that happen in? Do I draw the card and then fire the discard power? I think that would be, like, that seems like...
Read Joker?
Whenever the Joker is discarded, you may remove him from the game. And I'll read the rest of it when it's relevant.
I think Joker happens, and then you draw a card.
And then I draw a card?
Because
Okay.
Joker enters the pile as a part of the payment. His
Sure.
effect would go on the chain.
And
then
I will
resolve
agree with that. What do you
first.
think, Chris? Do you have an input here? Are you
can-
awake? Are you
can
paying
chime
attention?
in, yeah. But yeah, I think that's the order of operation.
Give you a few seconds to
Yeah, so you would discard him, fire your madness, and then draw a
Joker
card.
happens first. Okay, Chris
Okay.
agrees. So, whenever the Joker's discarded, you may remove him from the game if you do shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw a card for each card you shuffled in. So that is 5. I'm going to draw 6 cards
Right on.
after shuffling my hand into my deck.
Right on.
I'm failing to shuffle.
Sure. That's part of the fun of life.
I'm going to do that again because
Failing to
that middle
shuffle.
one was so bad.
Part of the game.
There we go.
Game of life. We'll do a cut. We'll do a cut right there.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah,
Good
you
spot
like that
right
one?
there. Yeah.
All right.
Indeed.
How'd I do?
And do not
Not
forget
bad.
you do draw an extra card if you haven't already done so.
I have. I
Okay.
drew 5 cards. Yeah. Not bad. That's hilarious.
Hilarious
So I'm going to play Firefly.
Yeah.
Whose power is at the start of the combat phase, I may discard a card at random, and if I do, Firefly gets +3 attack this turn.
Oh my.
I don't think I want to do that, but I do want Firefly up here.
So it is a you may power. You may
I
discard.
may, yeah. Some of these are pretty good,
Alright.
so we won't be doing that yet.
You are putting him in your front row.
Yep.
I guess it's largely inconsequential. In case I have a way to
What's this?
strip range or something. Right. So at the start of the combat phase, I immediately lose 3 life because of Rose Psychic, which puts me at 27. 27 is the
Third 27.
yeah, that's to totally confuse myself there. Okay. So, you see, what I would really like to happen is to not get pummeled to the face through Rose Psychic. That's my goal right now.
Okay, it's a little bit of a tall order, but, you know, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm going to play Mystical Binding, which is a magic plot twist, so Black Brotherhood gets a counter.
That's a big Blackbriar Thorn.
He's getting up there. He's Zaz level. Zaz level.
It's bigger than Zaz.
By a point.
That's bigger than Zaz.
Speaking truth. Play
Zzzz.
only during your text. Oh, it's a magic. I'm gonna pay 3 life to draw a
Your
card.
card? Man, you have so many cards. You have all the cards. I don't like how many cards you have.
I sure didn't
How
have...
did you have all the cards and miss a drop?
I don't understand. I don't know. Okay. So, yeah, play Mystical Binding only during attack.
Mastical binding.
And only if you control
So
the
they're calling
character.
this out.
As an additional cost, pay 3 endurance, which I have
offensive?
done. As I was at 30, but moments ago. Target character gets -3 defense this turn, and cannot attack this turn.
Oh, I'm not gonna get to hit her.
Yeah, that's the premise. I'm going to choose Firefly. I'll choose Firefly.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Then we're going to Zaz sure is zazzing around. What's the best way to do this? I'm not ecstatic about it. I'd love to make you lose a character, but that's a tough situation. It's tough, man.
It's hard for you to make me lose a character without you losing a character.
Yeah.
The character you would lose would be potentially one of your hidden characters.
Yeah.
Or you'd have to include her, that is.
I acknowledge.
Is
this
my
point.
assessment of the situation.
No, I think that's fair. So I have to get Zaz first. That's the first thing that must happen. Because he can attack. So we're gonna do it with Blackbriar Thorn. And I am going to discard the Phantom Stranger from my hand. Remove the actually, I'm not. Remove the Phantom Stranger from the game. Target Shadowpact character gets +1/+1 this attack, and an additional +1/+1 if I have 10 or less endurance, which I don't. Uses power only if it's in your hand. So I will give myself +1/+1, thus making me 7/7. And thus 1 ahead of Mr. Zaz. And the only things I can do that doesn't cost me life.
You don't get her life if
She's
she's stunned.
Correct.
So you're not likely to press with her.
That's probably true. It's pretty costly.
You're making it so hard for me not to play this card because it would be hilarious and mean right now, but it's better later.
I don't like that. That does actually make me nervous. Not gonna lie, that's not what you want to hear. I could ruin your day now, or ruin your whole week a few seconds from now. The fate of the world is in your hands, sir.
Well,
Or is it? I look at my hand menacingly.
this would be so funny. Oh man.
You just like your hand. You're like, this whole hand would be hilarious if I played it all right.
I accept. I will
Okay.
take 5.
You avoid being stunned, which is useful.
I cannot exhaust Firefly to do anything interesting at this moment.
Right.
Or am I choosing not to?
Right. So now the question is, do I go for Firefly or not? Boy, I want Firefly. Your defense is low, but I can't get you with just Satana unless I do stuff. I don't want to team attack, because if that fizzles, it will just be inherently sad.
I mean, our board states are comparable.
They are, but I'm really worried about you getting an advantage in future turns.
We have initiative next turn.
Yep.
As well, so.
Yep, you do. Boy, I really need that stun, but I really need that life. This is a tough choice here. It feels like an opportunity. Feel like it's an opportunity. I guess if I attack you and it fails,
it might be an opportunity like this where it's like,
yeah,
oh, it's so tempting,
yeah,
but not yet.
I mean, if I team attack you and it fails, the worst case scenario is that you stun a character and then happen to have a KO card in your hand, which I can't rule out. I know that deck has, I'm sure, it's just crazy enough to have one or two in there.
What? Who are you calling crazy?
But is that fail case not worth the risk? If I attack...
No. Here's the worst situation.
Yeah.
Here is the worst
I'm ready,
situation. I mean, that's bad.
It's not what
sure.
there's worse than that. Top it.
Well, the worst situation is you team attack and it fizzles. Oh, I can't attack you.
You can't attack.
You're right. You're right. So yours is the worst situation.
Yeah. Oh,
sorry.
If you could attack back at all, I would already be
attack.
Yeah. I think I'm going to try a team attack.
Literally has been like 2 minutes since then.
No, I know. It's been a while. I'm going to try team attack you for 5.
My defense is 8.
It is -3 from Mystical Binding.
Oh, I see.
Which is why this is even an option at the moment.
Maybe I should have done the other thing. That's interesting. Well, I guess I'll have to take it. I will stun Zatanna, but I will take...
I do take
hit for
3.
5 more. I'm not a fan of
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was part of my plan, too.
I know. No, I don't.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't going to do... No, wait, yes, I was. That logical line worked. Yeah, I hit you for 5. Which I assume you already
that was a
recorded.
lot of life. I should have done my thing. Turns out. Well, I didn't really think.
Well, there may be yet another opportunity to do said thing. I do gain 6 life at the start of the recovery phase from Rose Psychic. Why? Why? I don't know why.
I'm going to... I'm going to discard the Joker to draw a card.
I'm with you.
Oh, that's... Sorry, I'm not. I'm going to discard Harley Quinn to draw a card. Whenever Harley Quinn is discarded, I may remove her from the game. If I do, target character gets -2 defense this turn. What character should that be? It might be Blackbriar Thorn. That's kind of weird.
That is a little peculiar, but
He's the biggest defense on the table. I think I target Blackbriar Thorn. Do I'll target Zatanna to draw a card. Now that's interesting.
I can't even put down a resource until I see what you do. Ugh. This is darn stressful.
Well,
Ridiculous. It is absurd in an atypical manner.
let me read this card.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's okay to play it the way it is. Oh boy. Let me read it one more time.
And Zatanna has -2 defense at all times, just for the duration of the turn.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Boy.
I hear that. I can assure you I hear that.
I'm going to recruit Poison Ivy. And the Joker.
Oh my.
Characters adjacent to Poison Ivy get -1/-1, and whenever the Joker stuns a character, I may discard a card at random. If I do, target opponent loses 3 endurance.
Oh my. So I think the correct play is to activate Madame Xanadu and search for a plot twist. I can actually do that before I put down a resource. Do I want to do that? Maybe, maybe not. No.
See if I can make my shenanigans fire.
Yeah.
I'm up to no good.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's probably that. Oh, man. Man. You might kill me. I'll tell you what, this draw is weird. It's a weird draw. That is really, really useful. What are the odds that I could do that? That is the question. What are the odds? It's either that or that. I'm going to make my decision based upon one thing. Jeez. I'm going to have to do this stupid thing. It's real dumb. It's real dumb. I'm going to search for Abjuration, which is the card that I am going to put in my resource row. I'm going to read it to you because it might matter. As an additional cost to play it, pay 5 endurance. Target Shadowpact defender gets +3 defense this attack. Ongoing. At the start of the build phase, gain 5 endurance if you have 10 or less endurance. You may cut, and then Madame Xanadu will go on top of my deck. Right, so that happened.
How much endurance? How much defense? I'm sorry.
+3 is the number. And I'm going to play Conjuration. Play only during your recruit step. That's a magic plot twist. Pay 15 endurance to gain a resource point. I'll recruit Zatanna. And I'm at 12. Zatanna has pay 3 endurance. If you control another Shadowpact's character, draw a card. So that was novel. I showed you discarding a character to reduce my Zatanna's defense by 2. Poof! She's a 6-drop. Abracadabra.
It means I have to do this differently than I wanted.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Possibly not at all, but differently than I wanted, for sure. So, I'm going to play pick a card.
Oh boy.
God, I need to make a choice to do that.
It's a good plan. Sorry. We end the formation and so forth, and I lose 3 life immediately for Rose Psychic.
I'm going to play pick a card as an additional cost to play. This is what I wasn't counting on. That makes that interesting.
Yeah, this could be the turn that my deck melts its ass down. We'll see. I'm just going to move some miscellaneous garbage from the table.
I'm going to exhaust the Joker. Boy, I sure don't want to exhaust the Joker.
Exhausting
Isn't
the
that
Joker.
weird?
That is not what I...
Search your deck for 2 cards and reveal 1. Your opponent chooses 1. Shuffle that card into your deck and put the other into your hand.
Oh, goodness.
So I'm going to get a card
Oh, this fun little game.
and another card, and I'm going to show you one of them.
Show me one of the 2 cards. And then I pick either the card I can see, or the card I cannot see. You keep the one I pick. You keep the one I pick. You keep the one I don't pick.
That's
I'll pick the
going
one
to
you
be
keep.
One of them. What do I threaten with? That's going to be the one I don't show you. That's pretty good.
How ominous.
We'll consider this.
I mean, one of the things that's so annoying about this is that you're, of course, going to pick 2 cards that have value.
Of course.
So it almost doesn't matter what I do, because you know that you can pick 2 cards that will have value. Though, because it's an insanity deck, that value will have a diverse purpose. Let me just look at this picture.
Didn't see the card I was looking for, which is alarming. That's another one.
At a distance, it looked like Joker with bizarre rabbit buck teeth, but it's really just a break in the cards that he's holding in front of his mouth. But it definitely looks like a rabbit buck teeth Joker. Quite the gag, Joker. Quite the gag.
It is shockingly rare
Agreed.
that I use this card to get something that will avail me on this turn.
But today that reality comes to sweet, sweet fruition.
So this is the concealed card.
Okay. You're deciding now which card you reveal to me.
Right. It's probably this one, and that's interesting.
It is interesting, especially when you put it that way, by calling it interesting.
It's so close.
So also the Joker. To play a card with a picture of the Joker, why does he have a pumpkin on his head?
I suppose. Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
I think I can't rewind this safely. We are past the point where I could react to Firefly's triggering his own power. Do you agree?
His power triggers when at the start of the
Because I started
combat
playing
phase?
stuff, and yeah.
Um,
I mean, none of this stuff happened to be during the combat phase, but it will inform. It is slightly informing my decision. So.
I guess we triggered one at the start of the combat phase
Then it's
power
gonna be
already,
this. All right, we'll do this.
but it's borderline. If it's significant, then I guess I don't really object to either way.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Because nobody's attacked
It
yet.
just
That's
informed
really the
me
key.
to choose the other card. So the card I have revealed is Chilly Reception, which I may do only during my attack step, which is now, and exhaust target visible character.
That's peeving. And yet there's another
There's
card
another card beneath it
that I have not seen
that you haven't seen.
that could be a thing that I don't like.
You must got my deck as well.
Yes, yes.
I don't actually get shuffled back in, I think. Is that right? Yes.
All right, well,
So,
we'll give it a second.
well, it needs shuffling again. I jumped the gun on that.
Exhaust target visible character. What would you do? You'd probably exhaust Zatanna. She's by
Of course
far
I'm
the
going to
biggest
exhaust
character,
Zatanna.
yeah. And then
Just
just
give me that
attack.
card, Zatanna's exhausted.
Black
I don't even
Rider
have to
Thorn.
pretend that I'm going to do something else with that card.
Yeah, though your turn would not be horrible for me. You would attack. You'd probably team attack Blackbriar Thorn because I can give him a fortune in defense, and get the stun there. Maybe you have a KO card separately. And that's interesting. Who benefits more from the long game here? Boy, that's weird. What would you do? Do that and what? And what? This is your initiative, so I will have the initiative next turn. It will be me who has the initiative next turn. That much is utterly clear. I'm going to let you take the visible card.
This one? Alright, so this gets shuffled back in.
Yeah. And I don't love it, but that is what we will do.
You're going to love it even less when you see how I use it.
Yeah, that could be so. Could be so.
The good news is you live through the turn.
I like that.
You picked the live through the turn card.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. That's really all I was after.
So I'm going to play Chilly Reception.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play it on... I suppose I don't even need... Do I need to play it? What would happen if I didn't play it?
Now, that's an interesting question. That is a very interesting question.
Maybe I don't need to play it.
Could be. Since I did get to view the card, just remind me, is it play only during your
My
attack step?
Okay. Would be a lot of damage. Yeah, and you have initiative. I gotta play it. Alright, I'm gonna play it. This was my plan anyway. I'm gonna play Chilly Reception.
Yeah.
Play only during my attack step. Exhaust target visible character. I will choose Blackbriar Thorn.
You will exhaust Blackbriar Thorn. Well.
I will then play Fatal Weakness, which I may also only play during my attack step.
Yeah.
Oh, you fizzle cards. This could be a disaster. Are you getting ready to fizzle it? This
I don't know yet. I
This is
haven't
the one
heard
you'll
what
need
it
to
does
fizzle. To play... Oh, God. If you can fizzle this, it's going to be so bad for me. I forgot about fizzle. To play, stun 2 Revenge Squad characters in your front row.
Lord!
KO target character if its cost is less than the combined cost of those characters.
I do have the
Yeah,
fizzle.
of course you do.
I
I didn't even think about it.
I was going to fizzle the exhaust. I was thinking about that exhaust.
I should have let you fizzle the exhaust. That would have been amazing.
I have to play it. I still have to pay 5 life to, or pardon me, 4 life to play. I should read the card. The card is the Conclave. It is a magic plot twist. It says, play only if you control Shadowpact characters, and initial cost to play, pay 4, negate single target effect from a non-ongoing plot twist. That's a towel throw.
Well, I don't live through the turn, so you just killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That's always a possibility with
So,
that. And you drew so many cards, so...
Except I didn't draw a 4-drop or a 5-drop. So I had to pay 15 life to recruit anything.
That's kind of
that turn.
amazing.
And the thing that I was so torn on at the start of the turn, and I thought I was dead that turn, but it was sort of I have to Hail Mary or I'm dead, and then you did a big Hail Mary that would have killed me. or certainly crippled me severely going into the next turn. Because, by the way, this was my only 6-drop, so I'm not recruiting anything next turn either.
All right, so here's the other question. Let me run through some math here, just to see how the turn would have gone differently. Okay.
I will say one thing before you work into it. After I gave you the exhaust card, and I'm thinking, okay, I can fizzle that and spoil whatever his plans are, I realized that I would not fizzle the exhaust card, because whatever you would exhaust would be a setup for something else. So for what it's worth, I would have and I only had one fizzle, but I would have not used it on the freeze.
Let me.
And actually, you did freeze Blackbriar Thorn, so that is evidence of that.
Let's
I
roll it back a little bit. Let's say I didn't fall into the trap and I
Sure,
foresaw it, which I did, but after I played the previous card.
Yeah, and you still
Where the heck
kind of had to do it.
Go? Okay. So let's say. All right,
So I have not played the
put this
fizzle
card
card.
out.
Yep.
We're making the choice. We're
Yep.
still playing.
And I'm at 9 health.
What was that card? I'm playing. So that's in my hand. I'm going to try to recreate everything.
Yep.
I'm playing pick a card.
I'm back where
This
I
is in
was.
my hand. Resource row discarded. Not in my hand. Face down. Face up.
Curious.
Face up. Face up. All right. So this was my relevant resource row. I have in play the Joker,
Yeah.
Poison Ivy, and Fire.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have backed up so quickly. Harlequin's removed from the game.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker's removed from the game.
And Joker is not activated yet.
And Joker is activated to play pick a card. We're going back to
pick a card.
card.
Still
yeah.
happens.
So this is in my hand. This is in my hand.
And do you select the same 2 cards and I still give you the freeze one?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick a different card
I see.
to show you,
I see. Okay.
and we're gonna then see how that turn
Okay,
goes out.
that's fair.
And we don't have to play after that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's all I want to see.
Yeah, that's fine.
If I can find the friggin' card.
Oh, because you were waffling between.
I was waffling,
Yep.
and had I thought about your
Risk of fizzle.
fizzle, I would have played for the other
Yep.
card. Absolutely. If I can find it, I'd look through twice here. Here it is. All right. It's a much less scary card
Yeah, that's interesting.
for some reasons.
Yeah. Let's see if I would have
Alright.
given it to you or
So
not.
I exhaust the Joker Red Hood to play.
Pick a card. Or
Pick a
whatever.
card, and I go get Burn Baby Burn. Target Arkham inmates attack you control gets +3 attack this attack. Insanity. You can play this card from your KO'd pile. If you do, remove it from the game.
Oh, interesting. You know, in a circumstance, so I think it's worth talking out loud a little about the logic that would entail, which I suppose I would do even if this weren't a simulation, so to speak.
And I still have this stuff in my hand, and I think I had one other thing in my
Like-
hand. I don't see it.
My thought process when I saw the freeze card, and at first, I have a strong aversion to targeting exhaust, as you know. So my gut was to just say, oh, get rid of the freeze card. Nothing could be that bad. But I had to think about it because with Shadowpact, I'm very low in life. So what I'm afraid of is anything that I think will give you a better advantage in the next turn, that will gradually improve your board state, or will just kill me. So in the instance of that card, I know I've got a fizzle. Only one, which you don't know with certainty, you can suspect. But that card you can play separately twice. And if I fizzle it, you can still play it once.
Yes.
So I would probably ditch that card because I'm worried about my life total. And that directly affects my ability to survive the turn. So I would probably say take the hidden card.
All right. So this gets shuffled back
I have
in. and
no
won't
idea what
bother
that
with
is. Yeah, that's
So I put it in my hand, but it's okay because I play it immediately.
Right.
And my play... Oops, that was not the right card. Where did it go? Here it is. I mixed up my cards.
Yeah.
But I play... Obey or Die. To play, stun or revenge squad character control. I guess I was at 25.
Yeah.
So I go to 24. Stun or revenge squad character control.
Yeah.
Stun all characters with a cost of 2 or less.
Oh, so you can get Blackbriar. Ooh. Stun.
Stun.
That's a tempting bait
And
for
you
that.
maybe fizzle that.
Right, so I have to decide, like, how would I behave in this instance? So Blackbriar is a big freaking deal. So what's my death case here? If I prevent that from happening, I do take damage because plot twist cost me 4 life, so I'd be sitting at 5.
Well, you've already taken that, I think.
I have not taken the... I took the 3 for Rose Psychic. I started the turn at 12, but I've not taken the damage yet for Conclave. So I would be at 5, which means if you could deal a bunch of breakthrough... I do still have Rose Psychic. So I can go to as low as -5. So then the question is, with those 2 characters, can you deal me 10 damage after I play the Conclave? Well, Blackbriar actually soaks a lot of damage. And if you team attack, you're not going to get that damage. You just can't do it. So I think the play is I play Conclave. It's stun all characters cost 2 or less.
Yes.
So it's a 2 damage difference. So what would I be afraid of here? I'd be afraid of massive damage spikes. You need some big damage. That deck can do it. The worst case scenario for me is that you damage spike Firefly, hit through Zatanna, and then can still hit through Blackbriar Thorn. If you can hit through both of them, I would lose. So I'm going to assume now that you can't hit through both and fizzle that. So I fizzle that play, and I'm at 5.
Right.
But now I'm just bored with no more fizzles.
Right. And then I waffle a whole bunch about making a team attack versus Zatanna versus trying to make a straight attack versus Blackbriar, and I probably just then play Fatal Weakness and try to KO Zatanna.
Right, and that's a KO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I can stop
so
it.
You don't have the second fizzle.
It's a KO, not a stun.
Right, but I do take a lot back as well.
Right, so the first thing that I would do when you do that is I will pay 3 endurance to draw a card.
Right.
Which is Madame Xanadu, by the way, but I would do it anyway under the assumption that I can't get you this turn, because we know she's on top of my deck from my search. And she's KO'd. I can't say it's very, very costly. I did get my 1 from the Conclave. I didn't do that yet. And I'm just going to attack you for the damage. I don't have... Do I have any pumps, boosts? Can I get...
13, so I'm at 3.
Yeah, you're still alive.
Yeah, it's friggin' close.
It's a big deal. So yeah, I hit for both. That really, really does work in your favor. I never have a defender, so I can't actually flip this, as it requires a defender.
I didn't even remember that, but
that's a really big deal because that's worth 5 life to me. So that's.
Do you want to try to keep going from here?
We can. You would need to do a shuffle.
I would,
if
but
you're curious.
Yeah, it would be the shuffle from putting that card back in my deck.
Right. Well, I can tell you that my draw has been immensely bizarre, and I already know what these cards are because I looked when we ended the game.
Right.
But
so I lose the Joker. I think I keep Firefly.
Yep. Yeah, Firefly.
My hand is not very good at this point.
Right.
So it's really a gamble.
Mine neither, somehow. So I do gain 6. I will mark that. So I'm at 8. And I've drawn my 2.
And I don't. I'm still at 3.
Yes, that's true.
And our board position is still comparable, and I think it's a little advantage to you. Which is kind of funny.
I think it is.
Just ever so slightly.
Yeah, slightly.
Which is peeving, to use a Kylism.
Yep.
So
You won't even believe what I
get
recruit.
2, and I sure friggin' hope it's something useful.
What I recruit will be amazing. It's awful, but amazing.
So I discard Winslow to draw a card.
I'm with you. Well, so it is my initiative on evens. Get ready to have your mind blown. Mm-hmm. I am going to recruit Rose Psychic with her boost, which, by the way, is not what I want. Though it's not terrible. At the start of the count, you remember the first part. Boost 3. She comes into play. Search for Dr. Occult, and if you don't control him, put him into play. He's a good 4-drop, but he's a 4-drop. So, again, just to clarify, my turn 6 is recruiting a 4-drop.
It's very crappy.
You have initiative, though.
I do. I
which
should
is gonna
read Dr. Occult. His boost is Search for Rose Psychic. But his core power is that he gets +2/+2 if I am under 25 life, and an additional 1/1 if I'm under 10. So I do meet those criteria. He's a 10/10.
So recognizing that this is the final turn, I then play my Jack in the Box and choose 6. And go da-da-da-da-da. Oh, it was the first time. And a 6.
That was really anticlimactic. You get the drops you want.
And then I recruit Sandra Fuller, Clayface, and I can recruit her from my KO'd pile.
Right. So, yeah. That's the thing you did.
And at the start of the combat phase, I do discard a card at random to give +3 attack to Firefly.
Yep.
So if you can stop my attack again, you've got me.
Well, I was holding this card up for no reason. What just happened? What happened?
I'm discarding a card at random.
So we discard this card.
I have lost my 9-drop.
I did. I drew another Mystical Binding.
So you win.
Yeah, I do get you. Well, yeah, so the correct play is I take 3 damage from Rose Psychic automatically at the start of the turn. And then I stop. That's interesting. So, yeah, I think the right play is I stop Firefly from attacking and then team attack your bigger character. Because I actually think I get the most damage that way at the lowest risk. And he's 1 bigger. So I will do that.
He's on the 4-drop.
Yep.
I'm at -3, and you win. You're still
so
positive.
I'm actually at 2. You stun the 4-drop. I'm at -2, but I do get 6 back.
I have nothing I can do without an attacker.
So, but it's actually really close. It's 4 to -3.
Man, I have so much attack pump.
I
You
know.
don't have any idea. I have like +11 attack.
Well, that was a very, very peculiar
It
game.
was interesting. I enjoyed that. Thank you for going through
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
alternate world scenario with me.
Now, I like stuff like that because one of the things I've always loved about Versus system is there's a lot of, coulda, shoulda, wouldas.
And again,
that
had I been
feel
thinking
good.
like, oh, he can fizzle something,
You might have
that's
done that
probably
course
what I would have done. I'm not sure. The other question is, do I really play the Fatal Weakness and stun my remaining characters to KO?
Right.
What's or nuts, or do I try to make a play for an attack?
tough.
there? And I'm kind
Real
of on the
tough.
fence.
Yeah, no, it's real tough. There were a lot of on the fence choices, and I feel like every one of those selections mattered. And for what it's worth, I actually that was I feel good about how I played that game because I had some very weird choices, and they almost destroyed me, as is the case with all
Of
the
course.
best
Yeah,
Shadowpact
that's how
ones. Is
Shadowpact
like
works.
But never before have I had an instance where
That was so.
I drew
you
so many cards.
and no
no 4s or
fives.
5s. And then the only 6 I drew was Zatanna. So when we got to 6, I didn't have a 6-drop because we'd escalated to Zatanna, and I didn't have like another copy of Zatanna 6 to play because you KO'd my 1. So arguably I played ahead on 5, but I really did not. I would have much preferred a 5-drop to spending 15 life because I was missing my some of my life generation stuff at that time. So spending 15 life was a very, very high cost, even higher than it might normally be. And then I knew that there was a risk I would miss 6. So with Madame Xanadu on that one turn, I was thinking to myself, do I search for like stall? And in so doing, pay ahead or rather pay my life to bring out 6-drop Zatanna? Or do I search for another divination and hope that the next 2 cards include a 4-drop or a 5-drop? And I really thought on it because what happens is I play divination, pay 3 life for my Zatanna to draw Madame Xanadu back into my hand, and then I actually get to play divination then, and look at the next 3 cards. I would have had 3 more rolls of the dice to get an on-drop character, because I know there are 5-drops in this deck. I'm sure of it. But boy, I couldn't get them. I drew so many cards in.
I saw. I watched. I was really nervous.
And one of the things I've always enjoyed about Shadowpact also is that you can make things happen. This is an S deck.
Of course.
You can make things happen. Like, not all of their cards are good in every situation, but they do have a lot of flexibility. So when you're missing drops that are characters, you're usually getting interesting plot twists that you then have to build your whole strategy around. And sometimes it implodes on itself. I think it works more than it doesn't, but it's always sitting on that teetering edge of.
Well, that's what
the
I like
abyss.
about Insanity. Is if you miss some early drops,
Yep.
it doesn't matter
Nope.
because they're just that good.
They're just
As long
crazy.
as you get the right cards.
Crazy. Yeah, there's an immense unpredictability.
I did enjoy, and I did mean it, where, like, that pick 2 or pick a card or whatever,
Oh my god, that's so stressful.
I'm 99% of the time, I'm hiding a setup card for a later turn.
Of course.
And showing you a scary card.
Right, totally.
Expecting you to throw the scary
Right,
card away.
right. It's like immediately scary.
And this
or
is the first time
prolonging.
it's like, I'm going to need to put 2 cards here that I need now.
Right. No. Yeah. That is funny. Oh god, it's well, and even again, like Shadowpact and Insanity share a little bit of that. Like they have cards that do things like just search for anything. Like Man of Xanadu, pick any plot twist from your deck, and you have pick any 2 cards. It's all these sort of
The
like
team up's my favorite though. The
team up's amazing.
The team up let me fire a lot of stuff that game.
it's great, and you always get it. I feel like you.
I don't. I really
shouldn't
don't.
say always.
Yeah.
I feel like you get it more than.
Well,
you
I make a huge
statistically
deal out of it,
should.
so
Yeah. So I'm going to go Inner because it's failed me on winning initiative more than not. But
Okay.
It's won me more games, so
Okay.
Inner, yeah. Inner really is losing tonight.
That's probably not a keeper.
You did win that roll by a factor of 6.
These guys are odds, I think.
Odds.
Odds.
What deck am I playing? Oh yeah.
Maybe I should have kept it.
Oh Lord.
But,
I'm gonna
didn't
keep.
quite go the way I wanted.
Gonna keep. You went odds, you said?
There are multiple really important things I need to draw into.
Right on.
I did go odds. I won't be recruiting a 1-drop though, because those are for chumps.
Yeah, no, that's very true, very true. Yeah, me. It is a rare thing, very rare, when I have a 1-drop and I'm like, I don't know if I want to play that. And this is one of those times, so I have a weird decision about whether or not I play my 1-drop. There are reasons not to, and that's absurd. You know what? I'm going to go for it. I'm going to play my 1-drop. It's the Engarai. They're concealed with flight, a 1/1. They can be
Those guys, I haven't seen them in a while.
They've sat out for a while. They have discard the Engarai. Target attacker or defender gets -1 defense this attack. I'm just going to attack you for one of
I
you
would
guys.
have recruited them. To each his own.
Yeah, I have my reasons.
They're
I
not a
contemplated it.
recruited. Okay.
Well, there are
Like Mad Harriet or whatever. his name is.
instances. There are instances.
Huh.
Now it's my initiative. That's cool. I'm going to recruit Black Rose. Black Rose is also concealed. She has activate. Return an Underworld character card from your KO'd pile to your hand.
This is not going well. I'm going to recruit Lois Lane, whom I may discard 2 cards rather than pay her recruit cost.
Which you are not doing.
When Lois Lane comes into play, you may search your deck for an Earth 2 character card or a card named Superman, reveal it, and put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. I'm actually going to look to see if anything else in here is Earth 2. I don't think that's the case.
Lol. That's right, Chris. Closers have 1-drops.
Nope, most definitely nothing in here is Earth 2. So I will go get a Superman. I will
Seems
go
legit.
get
Um,
I'm sure you have some options there.
I will go get... Where'd they go? I will go get this Superman and put it into my hand.
Yes, I do recall that Superman.
This is not so far going very well. Draw-wise.
Yeah.
Why am I dropping everything today? Stop it, Kyle.
Can't be explained with mortal
Enough.
words.
Enough. Okay, so I have Lois Lane. She's the 1/1.
Yep. So I'm gonna flip up Dark Designs to play exhausted Underworld character control. Dirk to Dirks. Draw 2 cards and then discard a card.
You have a lot of cards.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Now you have fewer cards.
Discard the Ingarai.
Uh-oh.
I will pass.
Okay. I'll take you for 1.
Damn it, Lois.
What?
It is now your initiative.
I think I need to do that. I gotta stop, though. I gotta stop soon.
Yeah.
This is going so poorly. I'm going to root for Kalex. When Kalex comes into play, you may discard 2 cards or a Team Superman character card. If you do, be careful what I discard here. If you do, search your deck for a location card, reveal it, and put it in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. The card I discard is the Superman I searched for. It's fine. I will also be recruiting Lana Lang. I may discard a Team Superman character card rather than pay her resuit cost. I can exhaust a non-defending Team Superman character I control to give target defender reinforcement this attack. And I'm going to go search for that location now.
While you're searching for that location, I'm going to flick up Dirk to Dirk and
Flick it
exhaust the Engarai.
Are you doing that thing again?
It's fine.
What on earth are you doing? I go get
I'm just drawing 2 cards. I wouldn't sweat it.
Or Cadmus Labs, not Star Labs.
I'll discard a card, and I will discard. I'll do the. I gotta think about what to discard here.
Oh, God.
I wonder how much of that was actually on camera. I think some of that was.
Probably very well.
So Ian is trying really hard tonight to learn how to start his professional juggling career with his deck. I still need to discard a card, and I have to think really stupidly carefully about what it is that I do. I think I will discard Austere. It's ridiculous. I'm then going to play Death's Embrace from my hand. To play, discard a card, and I'm going to discard Black Rose. Search your deck for 2 Underworld character cards that share a name. Reveal those cards, put one into your hand and the other in your KO'd pile. I'm going to search for Umar and Umar.
Wait, if Umar's put in the KO pile...
From play, I'm okay. When Umar enters the KO pile from play, discard your hand. Also, activate, reveal an Underworld character card from your hand. Flow top 2 cards of your deck, put one into your hand, and the other into your KO'd pile. She is visible.
Yeah.
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that happened. I should put a different resource down. This is not a card that I've drawn at any point, but I should not do that one.
There's some weird cards tonight.
Yes.
Was our first game good? Like,
I don't-
none of our games were bad, but it's just like...
Where am I, Ian? Where am I? Because of your board position, there's so many weird things I just did. You can't imagine. There were so many things I wanted to do, and I did none of them because I had to do all this stupid crap to get Umar.
Because I have...
Because you have Lois Lane and Lana Lang. Yes, and that's stupid. That's eminently stupid. I can't even believe that is a thing that had to happen, but it is. So who the heck's initiative is it? I think it's yours.
Oh, wow, it's mine. I pass.
I'm going to attack Kleenex for 4.
Reinforcing. Take 2.
Lois does nothing now that she's in play, right?
Lois
She
does
enters
nothing.
play.
She is nothing.
And then I'm going to attack Lana.
Weirdly, I think
Not
I
even
keep
firing
power.
Umar's power. Like, what is going on? What?
Oh, come on! Like, are you kidding me now?
You're playing the one drop women is the name of this deck.
I have to do this, but it's so painful.
I understand. I do understand.
I'm not gonna win if I do this.
You gonna discard the card you just searched for again? Because that was amazing.
Hush you.
It was pretty amazing. I'm being truthful.
It's your initiative.
Oh yeah. So, I'm going to recruit the Nastir into my hidden area. That is a second Nastir for those keeping track. The Nastir gets -5 attack while hidden. I may exhaust a character I control to move the Nastir to my visible area. So much weird stuff is happening. Yeah.
That's the one I want too. I don't even know.
I don't even know either.
I'm going to recruit Batman.
Yeah.
I can activate and discard a Gotham Knights character card to negate target effect from a non-ongoing plot twist only during the combat phase. And then I'm going to recruit Lois Lane. When Lois Lane comes into play, I may search my deck for a card with the Earth 2 version or a card named Superman.
For 3 drop again. Amazing.
What's going on in here?
I don't know what's going on anywhere.
We're not going to get there. Oh well. I'm still going to do it. I'm going to search for the 8-drop Superman.
What on earth? Which one is that?
I may recruit him only if I control Batman.
And then he's unstunnable or
While
unstunnable.
Superman is
depending.
ready, he cannot be stunned.
Right. And he's a 20/20 because Superman.
Because he's Superman.
Pardon me.
I'm just gonna play this whole game one turn behind. I think that'll work out in my favor.
It worked out for me last game, so.
Literally every turn, I'll just root. Yes.
Well,
What a mess, Kyle.
yeah.
So visible, I now have
Goodness, pardon me.
Lana Lang and Lois Lane, and they're getting support remotely from Batman,
So,
but not very good support.
yeah. My first attack is stupid.
It's gotta be.
Black Rose is going to attack Lana Lang.
Reinforce Lana Lang.
You sure took that one damage.
I've got to pass.
I will
Took so much
exhaust
damage this
the
turn.
Engarai to move the Nastir visible, so they're big and scary. Now the Engarai, or pardon me, now the Nastir's stats are as printed. And then I'm going to attack Lois Lane.
I will take 15 or 14.
No, it's 9. It's as
9.
printed.
I'll take 9.
It's a lot, but it ain't 15.
Pass.
Right. I actually think I fire Umar's power. Activate, reveal an Underworld character card from your hand, which is the Engrai. Reveal. I did that part. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one into your hand, and the other into your KO pile. Next Dormammu's in the KO pile. Okay. Oh. I don't even. You're going odds. It's your initiative.
I
Right?
have initiative. Let me make sure everything's okay here. Why did this happen this way? Why?
Nothing makes any sense right now. I do have to blow my nose after those sneezes. Pardon me a moment. Alrighty. That was relieving.
Superman has
Yeah.
invulnerability during my first attack and defense each turn.
Yeah, that's a useful thing. That's a useful thing. Excuse me. I'm going to repute Zatanna. Zatanna's concealed. She gets +2 attack for each card named Zatanna in your KO'd pile, which right now is none, if I'm not mistaken. It is none. It's off camera, but I'm separating out my character cards from my not character cards. And I'm going to form... I gotta think about... Well, I have to think about formation a little bit here. Batman can negate non-ongoing plot twists, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And during the combat phase specifically, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. That also will matter. Weird. It's weird. boy, I don't like that thing that's happening. I don't like it. So I think I give up the Engrai as an attacker just to have a spare reinforcer in case you have some shenanigans for going for hidden dudes.
Welp. Sadly, I think I just go for Umar.
Yeah, a valid play.
I'm just going to take a lot of damage through Lana if I do that. I gotta cut it close. I've cut everything so close this game, Kyle. It's not gonna keep working. I'm gonna play the thing.
Yeah, you got the thing.
Play only if you've played no other plot twists this turn. Characters you control named Batman or Superman get +2/+2 this turn.
Yep.
I'm going to attack this guy.
The Nastier.
The Nastier.
Yeah. How many cards are in your hand?
5.
All Superman.
It's possible.
It is possible. So many options right now. So if I do nothing, it's 2/2 for the turn. That's a true statement. Have you really just dealt me 1 damage? Yeah, that's probably true. You've been doing weird stuff over there.
Yeah, Lois Lane hit you on turn 2, remember?
Right. So what I'm actually struggling with a little bit here is, that affiliation is nothing if not gigantic. So if you start hitting those drops, I'm going to have to start to contend with some real firepower. And that plot twist says you're ahead of the curve if you're on
2
curve.
6 drops next turn, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
6
then
and
the
5,
question is,
whatever.
do I play the long game or the short game? The long game is very dangerous against Superman. I even know for a fact that you have an 8-drop. And yeah.
I don't know, with 36 life, I'm not confident I can get to 8.
Yeah. The problem is, if I'm not careful, I'll start falling quickly behind in terms of things, characters.
But mostly guns.
I think do I reinforce? It feels so flimsy.
Saves you, if you do nothing, it saves you 4. That's not bad.
Yeah, maybe 4 damage. I mean, I've got a lot of life. What I really want... Lana can reinforce anyone?
No. Anyone can reinforce anyone else as long as Lana's up, but they can't be a defender.
Right.
So Lana grants literally everyone else
Harley's power.
activate reinforcement. I guess I should be nice and say she doesn't grant it to Batman.
Yeah. I think I reinforce.
Okay.
So I take 4.
Okay.
I'm going to flip up in Limbo, which is an ongoing plot twist. At the start of the recovery phase, gain 1 endurance for each stunned Underworld character you control. I can also pay 2 endurance, and target stunned Underworld character you control can't be recovered or KO'd this turn. And then, now that I've done that stuff, I'm going to pass.
That's weird. Attack Umar.
I thought that was a possibility. So you are, right now,
7/6.
7/6. So I am going to power up. making me a 5, 7. I'm going to return an Umar to my hand and do it again.
Which is a bounce, I think?
So now I am a
Oh.
6, 8.
Oh, interesting. I'm stunned and you're not. Clever girl.
Umar is a clever girl.
Okay. Take 3.
Now I have a similar choice, but I've gotten your Batman. Which is novel. Superman's still really big.
It's pretty big.
Pretty big dude. And that is the first plot twist you play, but you can play subsequent
I
ones?
can play additional plot twists, yes.
Right. Yeah, I think I got a pass. Yep.
I will also pass.
And I do gain 1 life from it. I'm going to recruit, you're a little bit bent. You're a little bit bent, Dweller. Dweller in Darkness, which, by the way, is hyphenated. I'm going to unbend the Dweller in Darkness. He's a loyalty reveal character, which can apply to visible characters. He is concealed, which I'm not ecstatic about. Target attacker, activate. Target attacker an opponent controls, and each defender you control get -1 attack this attack for each character card in your KO'd pile, which is 5. And he's a 12/12, no flight, no range.
So it dumps the defense of everybody in a combat.
Dumps the attack.
The
Sorry.
attack of everybody in a combat. Oh, interesting. So he forces bounces by activating, but he's a giant character, so you generally don't activate him.
Right. That's a fair assessment.
Okay, I follow.
Didn't quite solve the bentedness, but
Well, I've got Cadmus Labs.
yeah.
Activate. Character cards named Superman are not unique this turn. I may replace Cadmus Labs, and target character named Superman gets +1/+1 in this attack.
I'm gonna pull my nose one more time. Pardon me. That sneeze really unleashed the flood here.
Unleash the beast.
Yes.
I then am going to recruit Superman.
Superman.
Yes.
I had not foreseen that.
This Superman's power is cosmic. It is while Superman is protecting a defender, that defender has invulnerability and reinforcement.
Sure.
I may also pay 2 endurance to move that Superman. Move that Superman.
That is a thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna, I'm gonna attack 6-drop Superman, and I'm gonna do it with Satana in this tier. Which is a lot. 17 to be precise. Pardonnez-moi.
I'm going to do two things.
I was afraid you would.
I'm going to play For the Man Who Has Everything. Search your deck for Team Superman character card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If it doesn't share a name with a character you control, discard a card.
Alright. With you so far. Why would he search for a Superman? He's already got a Superman.
Then, I'm going to flip Lookalike Squad. Ongoing character character cards named Superman are not unique. Whenever a character you control named Superman is stunned, you may KO it. If you do, put a character card named Superman with cost lower than the cost of the KO'd character from your hand into your front row.
Big deal.
So I'm going to deal the damage to Satana. Superman is going to be stunned. I'm going to take 6, and then I'm going to KO him.
5.
And put a character card, or card named Superman with cost less into my front row.
Right. Okay. Seems legit.
I'm going to attack Umar, I think.
Yeah, that's probably a good call. I will activate her power, of course, revealing my under eye. The top 2 cards, one in my hand. That card is awesome, but maybe not useful in this context. The other in my KO'd pile. That's novel. It's another character, Madeline Pryor, Goblin Queen. I think this is going to work, which I don't love. So your attack is as printed. It is 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I will take 6 from the attack. Which would be 35. 35. That's sort of annoying. That's really annoying. I sure don't have enough flight to get Lana. That's stupid. Still could be the right call. It's stupid. Ian.
Was it stupid?
It's stupid.
Is it stupid?
It's real stupid.
You're doing something stupid?
I find it stupid. I'm gonna attack your exhausted Superman.
That's pretty stupid.
Yeah. You're telling me. Yeah, I've had an odd draw set where I've gotten none of my, very few of my characters with flight late game. More of them have flight than not, and I haven't gotten them, so I have to do this the hard and agonizing way.
I will reinforce it. So I will take 5.
I'm going to exhaust the Ingarai. Oh, you're doing another swap. My god.
This Superman has Cosmic. Activate, remove target team Superman defender you control from this attack, and the Superman becomes the defender of this attack.
Oh, man. I still am activating Ingarai. I've got another Dark Designs in my hand, which, as a reminder, is draw 2 cards and discard cards.
So many cards. This is a night of drawing cards for you.
You ain't kidding. That would have been useful a while ago. Oh my god. It's so absurd. Now I can discard any card. That might actually still be the right card. Still the right card. Yeah, it's over to you.
5 cost Superman is going to attack the Nastir.
A lot of damage this turn.
I'll replace the Catalyst Lives for power up. Make you do something.
Sure. Well, I'll discard that Engrai I've had for a while to reduce your defense by 1.
How much do I pursue? Maybe not at all.
This deck, that's a hell of a gamble.
I think that's it.
You are going to deal me some damages. We're both stunned. Your attack was 10. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I need to read a card here real quick. So I take 4 plus 48. So much damage. I gotta pass. Is that true? Can I do something? Maybe I can do something. Maybe I've got to do something prematurely. Oh my god! It's stupid. Awful. No, I'm not. I didn't even. It's terrible.
Attack you for 7.
It's gonna take 7.
I'm going to attack you for 5, assuming you continue to pass.
Oh God! Oh, so bad. My draw. Why? Alright, well, I gained 3 life for what that's worth from having 3 stun. I have to decide if I
Pushed
pay
my
any
board
of that life.
position down quite a bit, or I did, to get the life
Yeah,
advantage.
it's gonna be both.
May I proceed? Nothing.
Yeah,
What are
you
going on
may.
here?
Just don't actually play a thing.
Don't lay a thing. I'll lay a thing if I want.
Ouch! I have been burned. So I got to do a series of weird ass things.
Okay.
The first of which is going to be flipping the Dark Dimension. When I flip it, put the top 3 cards of your deck into your KO'd pile. I can return an Underworld character card from my KO'd pile to my hand. Nope. 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 Damn, son. Well, this whole deck got bent somehow. That's really sad. I'm going to have to resolve that. And I may return an Underworld character card to my hand. Boy, it did not go the way I was expecting. Yeah, yes. There were many outcomes. That was not an outcome. I'm gonna return Dormammu to my hand, and I'm then gonna play another one of them. Hey, it's Dormammu. A steer and a dark bark.
Dark bark.
Dark bark. It is worth noting that I now have 1, 2,
Quite a
3,
few.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards here. I counted them out because it does affect Dweller in Dark.
More or less guaranteed bounce.
Yep. It's getting up there. That did not... I was hoping that would clarify what I wanted to do, and it didn't fully, so I gotta think for another moment. And then I think I play... I've gotta play it. I have to play it. It's stupid. I'm gonna play from my hand Dark Bargain. To play, put a character card from your KO'd pile.
So this is all during the recovery phase?
Yeah, this is all recovery phase, which is very uncommon to do a bunch of stuff here. Put a character card from your KO'd pile on the bottom of your deck. Recover target stunned Underworld character you control if its cost is less than that card's cost.
Giving up the Dormammu play or whatever.
Yeah, I am, and it's really annoying. And so the card that I'm going to put under is...
Do you not have a way to protect...
Madeline Pryor. No, do I do Madeline Pryor? I probably do Madeline Pryor. It's to get the free recovery on anyone that's done at this point. She's a 6 cost. Say Sultana.
You can't protect Umar. Is that what you're doing?
Well, I do. I have a pay
you have
2
that
to
up.
keep Umar around.
All right.
But the way we're going to do it is I'm going to recover the Nastir, and then I'll pay 2 to block her from going away. But I'm not... I mean, I did a lot of stuff there. I don't feel great about it. Do not feel great about that. Very, very alarmed as we approach this turn. You son
So awfully. I love this Superman. I don't know if it's going to be relevant in this scenario. We'll find out. He is Superman, the Deterrent Force.
Yeah.
His flavor text is, "You don't even want to try that."
Okay.
Cosmic, activate. Target character can't attack this turn.
That means I must do something very specific that is also stupid. It's all stupid. Why is it so stupid?
I'm sorry, it has been stupid. You're doing a lot of stuff over there. That's got to be fun in some senses.
I did a thing that was very, very, very slightly sloppy, and it was after all that stuff. I'll tell you after, but it's stupid. It's real stupid. And now my entire turn is different because of that, and because of what I drew. Everything that I was planning to do. My whole effing world has been upended. Oh, can I not even do that? Oh my god. It's so important that I do this. How do I do this? Oh my god. What have I done, Ian? What have I done? I've ruined everything. Take so much damage this turn and not deal you any damage and then lose.
Okay, I'm game. Let's do that one.
Why?
You also need a resource, sir. Just so. You don't need one. You probably want one.
Maybe this will save me.
I doubt it.
I'm gonna play it right now. We're gonna find out it's a location. Activate. Put the top card of your deck into your KO'd pile. And target stunned Underworld character you control can't be recovered or KO'd this turn. And I'm gonna choose Umar. And we're gonna see what this card is. Aw.
Does that card lets you look at a card? Because you didn't read that part. You just looked at a card.
No, it's just it goes in your KO pile. Top card goes it goes in your KO pile. And I was hoping for one of 12 cards that I didn't flip over. I suppose one in like 10 is more accurate.
Do you not have... You gotta have a 7 drop.
So I...
You
the
can
problem
get
is
one
I've
if
lost,
you don't.
I've lost unless I've done something... I can do something cool. And because of all things, I chose to put Madeline Pryor on the bottom of my deck instead of 7-drop Dormammu. That stupid choice means I can't do one cool thing. And then I have another cool thing, but to do that other cool thing, I would have needed to discard this stupid 4-drop instead of other cards that made infinitely more sense at the time.
Oh,
but
Lordy.
instead I dropped something else that seemed useful. Like it seemed like the right play. And so like I have 80% of 2 really tricksy cool things.
I'm sorry.
And I don't actually have... And I really need to play this. Unless maybe... Yeah, but that's not going to happen because you're going to do that. Just going to get beat in the face so hard.
There's a lot of Supermans. It's like 4 of them.
Too many Supermans. And then you're going to play 8-drop Supermans, which is also not what I want.
You just said you were going to lose this turn, so probably not. Is that going to stop you from losing this turn? So that I have 8-drop Superman?
It would stop you next turn, but I can't play it. Because I'll die. Everything is a paradox. Every card is a self-contained paradox. Okay, I'm gonna look at this last one more goddamn time, and then I'm just gonna recruit. That's so awful. I can't even believe it. It's just so awful. I'm gonna recruit Dormammu. Dormammu has activate, target attacker or defender gets -1 defense this attack for each character card in your KO'd pile. Which is, for anyone wondering, lots. Everybody you guys got flying range. We'll put him on.
Lana Lang doesn't.
True. And I do still have 8 character cards in my KO pile. So I can give, by activating Dormammu, an attacker or defender -1 defense this attack. Oh, that's where the hell I put my hand.
Is it this?
Yeah, it's probably this pile of cards. I'm so sad.
Okay.
Alright, so...
Bear
yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
So you can activate Dweller in Darkness to reduce an attacker and a defender's attack
Yep,
by 8.
yep, that's true.
Anyone, or do you have to have the defender?
It is target attacker,
Okay.
an opponent controls.
Okay.
Each defender I
okay,
control.
Of course, naturally.
Naturally.
And you can activate Dormammu. Activate?
It is activate. Target attacker or defender gets -1 defensive attack for each character card in my KO pile.
Okay.
Awful. Everything is awful.
Right. So, were I, for example...
Uh-huh.
This is actually challenging. Because were I, for example, to attack the Nastir with 7-drop Superman, you could activate your 6-drop and your 7-drop, and I wouldn't stun the Nastir. Is that what I'm saying, right?
You would still get the stun unless I did other things, but it would be piddling damage.
I wouldn't.
-8 attack, I got 7 defense.
Oh,
you'd still
you're right.
get through.
I'm running that a little bit off.
Assuming nothing else affects it, of
Assuming
course.
nothing else affects it. And I would be counter-stunned.
Yeah.
But you'd have activated your 6 and your 7.
That's true. That's true. You've truthed the hell out of this.
But even if you just activate your 6-drop,
I mean, it makes
It
the
means
attack...
I don't do any breakthrough.
Yeah,
It's not a very lethal attack.
it's true. True. Which there is something to be said for. I would have some damage on the swing back.
-8.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I do. You would get the counter stun, but only just if you used your 7 drop. You wouldn't need to use your 6 drop in that case.
That's probably true.
And then I do that and I win, maybe?
Probably.
Probably win?
Probably.
Alright, I'm gonna attack him. I'm gonna attack the Nastier
Right.
with my 7 drop.
Yep. Yep. There are many circumstances in which I would do something very awesome right now. So your attack is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. If I did, hypothetically, nothing, you would deal me 13 damage. I'd be at 5 life. That's cool. 5 life's cool.
It's alright.
Pretty cool. And then I would do that. You would absolutely do that. You would. I know you would. Read to me that ongoing sack of crap again.
Character cards named Superman are not unique. Whenever a character you control named Superman becomes stunned, you may KO it. If you do, you may put a character card named I almost said Batman. Named Superman. That would be hilarious if we did ping pong Superman and Batman. That'd be more interesting.
It would be something.
You may KO it if you put a character card. If you do put a character card with. Fuck. If you do, you may put a character card named Superman with cost lower than the cost of the KO'd character from your hand into your front row.
I think I reinforce.
Going to the next turn.
I'm going to take 4. The next play is... It's got to be Satana attacking your 4 drop. Part of the reason I don't play this deck incredibly frequently is it's so technical and it's so weird. And I love it for that reason, but boy, there's so many things you can screw up. And the flip side is, I should really play it more, because I pick it up every so often and I don't remember those things, and then I do silly things. And admittedly, my draw was weird too, but... Or weird-ish.
As long as you have Dweller in Darkness, I will struggle to stun Dormammu. That's interesting. What an interesting situation.
You're gonna make it harder on you.
So, given that information,
I don't like where this is going.
what do I do? That's pretty odd. It's not what I would expect, but then I'm just stalling till next turn.
Yep.
Which admittedly is going to be a pretty good turn for me.
Yep. Feel you.
And I'll be shorter that card. But it seems like the correct play.
Yep.
How strange. Find the card. Alright. I'm going to play. Boy, I sure would like this to have gone slightly differently.
Mm-hmm. I hear
This is
that.
going to be a heck of a slugfest next turn.
Yeah.
Might not be one I can win. I guess we'll see what the draw gives me.
I don't know.
I'm going to play Best of the Best. I may return
Oh my.
a ready character named Batman or Superman to owner's hand. If I do, target character can attack this turn. I will choose 4-drop Superman and I will choose Dweller in Darkness.
Yeah. Yeah. Clever. That is quite the reasonable stall. That's a good play. Oh, that's a good play. Just can't attack. God damn it, Black Rose. Why don't you have flight? That's been so frustrating.
So you may ready Zatanna, your attack physics.
Oh, right.
But Dweller in Darkness may not attack.
Yeah. So now do I take any action at all or not? What does this mean? Why are these cards the cards that they are, Ian?
You put them there. I saw you.
Why did I do
thought
that?
I thought we were going to get to another game this
Yeah, this one's
night.
been
It's
quite epic.
going pretty long.
It's one of our better games in a while because we are both, I think, doing the shenanigans, and I don't know if you're doing some things improperly. Yeah, no comment. No comment. No further comment.
I don't think I've made any misplays. My draw was kind of crappy to start,
Sure.
but we're at the part where it's not crappy anymore.
Right. Yeah, I can't make that work. It's my initiative next turn. That's nice. That's nice. What does that mean? Do I do that? Is there a way I can make that work? Oh, there isn't. Guess I gotta pass. Is it worth me attacking you to deal you? I mean, I'd take the same amount of damage back if you can get Zatanna. How many cards are in your hand? What do you got over there?
4.
I know what 2 of them are with a pretty high degree of certainty.
I can kind of make the argument that this is still my first defense. I could have popped that character when you declared your attack.
the attack. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. Yeah, I think I just pass, which is stupid.
So
It feels stupid. It's all stupid.
we're both going to turn 8
Yep.
with all of our powers on the board.
Yep.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I hear that. So, the first thing that happens is... the right play might be that.
We're going to the recovery phase?
Wait, yeah, we're going to the recovery phase. You can do your stuff.
Can I even go to the next turn? Can I draw
I gained 2
stuff?
life.
Oh.
Yeah, you may draw.
These cards really important.
I hear you.
Oh my.
Yeah. Could that be useful? It's insane.
Doing the old
That's so insane.
second resource row.
That's insane. What card? You played something that prevented me from attacking. How does that work? Return a Superman to your hand?
Return a ready character named Batman or Superman to my hand.
That's a very important distinction. I sure wish I knew what I was going to draw. I really wish I knew that.
I also have a character on the board that can prevent you from attacking.
Right, but you have to exhaust them to do it. Can you do that during your attack
I
step?
can do it whenever I want. I can do it during the build phase.
That's really funny. I think you're going to use that.
Oh.
Oh my god. That's really interesting. Damn it. Oh man, I think you've got me then. Then how does that affect my behavior? Yeah, alright. So I pay the 2 to keep Umar from going away. I'm going to recover the rest here. I was contemplating deliberately allowing Umar to be KO'd.
Wow.
But
That's
I can't,
really weird.
I can't do that because you have Superman.
The things you're saying, are you alright, sir? I'm just saying, the things you're saying aren't making much sense.
Yeah.
Do you know where you are?
I'm not so sure anymore, I'll tell you what.
Do you know who the president is?
I wish I didn't.
What day of the week is it?
Alright, so recover the ready this, and I draw 2 cards. And ready my dudes. Okay. And we're going to definitely do this. Oh, I apologize. I did not need to target Umar with the power because I did this at the start of the turn, preventing that. So it's moved. So I couldn't have even done that crazy thing.
Sure.
Nonetheless, that's where we're at. So it is my initiative. Didn't think about 7-drop Superman's counter. You don't think about that. Nobody thinks about that. Does that change what I do?
You don't even want to try that.
I still have to try that. I recruit Noble Kale, who's a 1919 that can attack you directly. Unless he's prevented from attacking.
Lol.
That's so sad. I felt like I had a shot. No,
I don't think you're out of it.
I'm not because you have to exhaust your 7-drop, but
Right.
it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
Let me think for a moment. Well, I know what you're going to recruit, unless you have a different 8-drop, which you'd probably be crazy to recruit.
No, I do have this 8-drop.
So I've got to think about my formation, and I've got to decide mine before you decide yours. It's so derp. It's just so goddamn derp.
Well, now you put a timer on the game.
I haven't, unless I get 7-drop Superman.
Right.
Then the timer starts ticking.
Which you'll play for.
Of course.
And then you can hit me directly
Which might
as
not
long
matter
as I
if
don't
you-
have another one of the plot twists.
Right. Which you might.
I might.
I might actually need all of my characters to be able to attack, including the Ngrai. Noble Kill does have flight and range, so I'm going to put him in my support row as though that were consequential. Awful. It's just awful.
Well, I'll be recruiting 8-cost Superman, whom I may recruit only if I control Batman, which is why I played behind curve for 4 turns. Or for the 4th turn of the first 4.
Yeah.
Well, it also helped me play something else earlier, I thought. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't. While Superman is ready, he cannot be stunned.
Sure is true.
And I do have to prevent your 8-drop
Must.
from attacking.
And he's just prevented. He's not
Kinda
exhausted.
Sad. And let's see. What other silliness do I do? I probably form to protect him. So like, oh, that's so risky. Oh, maybe I do something like that? No, then he's not protected. Like that? Then Lionel's not protected.
It's awful.
Oh, I'm so vulnerable through Lana.
I mean, she can reinforce herself. I guess she can be reinforced by any other character you control. She can't reinforce herself.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's true. Why haven't you ever stunned Lana?
I've been trying. I haven't gotten any
I
flight
sure
ever for
wish
no
she
reason.
wasn't here right now.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh man. What do I do? I guess I probably just take a hit through her. Not really anything I can do about that.
Yeah. So,
It could be
And
a
I-
very big
I'm going to say it
hit.
one more time explicitly. Lana says that any non-defending character that you control can reinforce any defending character.
No. She actually says that any non-defending Team Superman character I control can reinforce any character I control.
Oh, interesting. That is very different. Well, see, what's annoying about that is that the best play is probably for the Nastir to attack Lana Lang. Because if I don't do that, I mean, I can't hit 8 Superman, so I either swing for 5 Superman and you reinforce. And yeah, I pull some of your attack from the table. I guess that's useful. But I think the better play is the safer swing on Lana, and we go from there. So that's how it'll be. Safe swing on Lana for 9.
So what the hell do I do?
Zilch. Pass. Take the damages. You don't need to exhaust anyone for any reason.
I might take. I mean,
I know.
taking the damage is
It's an option. It's a real option.
maybe the correct.
You
play.
could take that 9 damage and it might be the better option. And that's funny. I will remind you of one thing, which may or may not be consequential. But at the start of the recovery phase, I gain 1 endurance for each stunned Underworld character I control. That could matter, depending on how much of a bloodbath this turns out to be. It's funny that the card that is stopping me is your 7-drop that you have exhausted to stop my 8-drop. But my 8-drop, if memory serves, and I could be wrong, actually beats your 9-drop, much like your 7-drop beats my 8-drop. So I'm not... Yeah, I think hypothetically that is the case.
Take 9.
Yep.
I attack the Nastir with Superman.
Interesting. If nothing else,
Power him up again.
again. First, this attack. I see.
Same method of powering up as before.
I see. So what I must do is, I mean, reinforcing would be nonsense. It'd be an egregious error. I can't. This is such an odd match. That's your first attack, so you are invulnerable.
I think I can't power up. I can't.
You need.
Must not power up. Oh, I'm sorry, I have some information about what the top card of my deck is now.
How did you get that information? Is it
I looked at it as I replaced it.
I see. It's okay.
I must not power up, which is so weird.
Yep. So
I have to stun my 5-drop in my first attack.
doesn't do you any damage, I guess. So I'm going to be stunned, a la thus.
Oh, me too.
And you and I take 4, 5, 6, putting me at 10. And now we are here.
Now we are here.
This is a here I wish we weren't at. I do not like it. That rhymes with cat. Felt like the cadence mandated some sort of rhyme. How many cards are in your hand?
4.
And I know that one of them is 4-drop Superman. You still have that one you popped to your hand.
True.
You stupid game. I mean, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Like, I mean, I can't stun your ready dude.
Right?
So there's that. You know what the worst part is? If your guy didn't have invulnerability, I might have been able to get you. Maybe.
I'm struggling. I'm struggling.
I hear you.
This is an amazing game.
Well,
this is one for the books,
What's funny,
for sure.
though, is I think I have to pass. Because I can't stun your guy in the front, and I still don't have enough flight. I could make a play for Superman in the back. And getting him's a pretty big deal. But it would cost me dearly. Very dearly.
Okay.
So I think I have to pass. And that's absurd.
I think I'm not passing yet. I'm talking myself into passing.
Right. Sure.
Let's do that together.
I'm with you. Good plan.
The only action I can take is to attack Dormammu with Superman. But if I were to attack Dormammu with Superman, you could stun Superman, and I will lose 8 endurance, which is the rest of the endurance I have.
Yep.
And I will likely not stun Dormammu.
Probable. Maybe. Alternatively, I might just be able to swing through.
If I attack Dormammu
Yeah.
with Superman, you activate Dormammu and...
Yeah, it reduces the damage I take to activate them both, which it would give you.
Well, you get the counter stun and I don't get the stun.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If assuming you have nothing. Yeah.
So that's a completely pointless attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I lose.
That actually seems pretty good when you put it that way.
Right? Like, I'm not misunderstanding that situation.
Correct. You would be well. Okay. I would not counterstun you if I played them both because Dweller reduces both of our attacks
By, what is it, 8 now
by
still?
8.
So I'd be at 12.
So I'd be reducing your defense by as much as I'm also reducing.
But
my
he
attack.
reduces just my defense.
Correct.
So you activate him as well.
It wouldn't matter because think of it this way, right? If your defense is -8,
Right?
but my attack is also -8,
Right?
I'm
And-
not getting the counterstun.
And then my defense is -8 again.
No, he only reduces attack.
Dormammu has the power to reduce my defense, I thought.
He does, but again, my attack is getting reduced, is the thing I'm saying. So I would have 7.
You're so confusing.
He only reduces defense. He reduces both of our attacks. If my attack was already matching your defense,
It is,
basically I can make this bounce. Because let's just math it and it'll make sense, right?
Okay,
So
okay.
Dormammu reduces both of our attacks by 8.
Mm-hmm.
So my attack is now 7.
I get it. Okay, there's the math.
And it's weird because he affects both and he just affects one. The other play I could make is reducing your defense with Dormammu and not reducing our attacks. Because I think I come out ahead in that exchange.
And then you stun Superman.
Right. With Dormammu. And I actually still have Dweller and Satana left if I feel like being aggressive, which might not mathematically work in my favor.
And you would take 11, so you'd be at -1 and I'd be at 0.
That was probably true, but I'm going to gain 3 life.
And what's left is...
I mean, you do have Batman.
So I could swing through after that if you don't shenanigans your characters.
Right. Correct. There's a couple of weird options in not knowing what you have. The safer play for me is probably trying to make you bounce, which I have a pretty good shot at doing.
Alright, so that's risky.
And I may have other tricks as well.
That's risky. What's the alternative? The alternative is I also pass and we see next
C9.
turn. And what on earth does that do for me? It gives me initiative, which matters.
It absolutely does.
I still have my counter, so I still stop you from killing me.
Yeah, which is really annoying. The question is, how will our board positions stack up?
I think the better play is to pass.
I think it is too, but I don't know what that means. So, it being turn 8, I am going to play from my hand at the start of the recovery phase. Netherworld Gift. Actually, let me see about this. Okay, I have to use a slightly different order. The first thing I do is I play in Limbo. And then at the start of the recovery phase, gain 1 endurance for each stunned character. It's another copy, so I'm getting a little more endurance back. And then I'm going to read you this card, and we're going to figure out how much life I gain, because it is not obvious yet.
Uh-oh.
This says, to play, discard a card, and I will discard Shumagorath. We'll hope Chris is still up, because we may need his call.
He's responding, or he's responded within the last few minutes anyway.
Okay, so unless he's saying I'm going to bed, then we might be
No,
okay.
he was asking about Superman.
Gotcha. All right, so here's what I'm doing. I am putting Shumagorath into my KO pop.
Okay.
Let's play this discarded card. Again, can only play during the build or recovery phase. At the start of the recovery phase, I'm going to read this
Your
from-
cards are all bent. That's weird.
It's very strange, yeah. At the start of the recovery phase, gain 1 endurance for each stunned Underworld character you control. So I've discarded my card. I'm playing this. And then it says, put target Underworld Underworld character card with cost less than the number of resources you control stunned into play.
That
Into
would
play
not
stun.
add to your life.
Okay.
Because that's the resolution of the effect, which
Yeah.
resolves with the life gain effect later in the recovery
Okay.
phase.
So the life gain effect, because the question is sort of like, does the life gain
Or is it part of the effect? Oh, that's interesting.
Resolve.
No, actually, I'm backing.
Yeah.
I'm reversing my logic there.
to make it uncertain?
Right. I'm not sure. Read it again. Read
So
the.
yeah. So all right. So
Read
this
the
one's-
ongoing card.
Yeah, the ongoing says at the start of the recovery phase, gain 1 endurance for each stunned Underworld character you control.
Boy, that's a tough one. Is Chris still here?
Right. So this effect goes on the stack. The question is when it goes on the stack.
I'm unsure, but leaning a little bit towards it's not going to work.
I wasn't sure either, but I'm willing to accept that resolution. If we don't get a Chris response in 30 seconds or so, we can call. And it's the difference between 4 life and 6 life, because
Right.
I do have 2 of them.
Yeah.
So it's not. Well, I don't think that's the whole game, but it could be. But nonetheless, I'm putting Shuma out there. The world to see. That's cool.
I think you're going to get me. This is frustrating.
Boy, I don't know. I
don't know either.
It depends on what you get. That's what it depends on. Here we are. The one to put one onto play, into play is worked out. So it says play only during the build phase or recovery phase. To play, discard a card. Then put target Underworld character card with cost less than the number of resources you control from your KO'd pile into play stunned if you don't control another one of those characters. Card of the same name. So it's sort of like this effect obviously goes on as soon as we enter. Before it resolves, I would play this and bring that guy in. So the question is, when this goes on the chain, does it store the fact that there are only 2 characters
Right.
at that time? Chris is about to levy a ruling, I suspect. He's doing some typing, so we'll stall. He just put in some...
It probably doesn't. Now that you've talked through it again.
It might not. Again, it all depends on if the In Limbo card stores the number of characters in play when its effect enters, or if it checks at the time of its resolution. That's really the question. So, the start of the recovery phase trigger goes on the chain. Right, okay. So that is the first thing that happens. As I did expect. I would expect that to be preempting me being able to play the plot twist to see if that goes on the chain. Then you can play the other one. Then the life gain will resolve. So, yes. It checks at time of
so you were
resolution.
correct.
So
You
you'll get
get
6
6,
out of that.
yeah.
That's an interesting...
Yeah.
As we sometimes observe, we've played this game for a long time, and we still have interesting resolutions. Then I pick who I am going to recover. And I'm going to choose Shuma. And I'm not going to recover my other characters. And I discard my hand, which is all characters. I'm going to count how many characters are in this pile now.
Well, here's what I like about this.
Uh-oh.
You now have exactly 1 card you can play.
True. Well, I haven't drawn yet. So I will have...
So you have few cards you can play. You've souped up all of your powers quite a bit.
15 is the number of characters. So I can reduce the attack of an attacker and a defender by 15. And I can reduce the defense of any character by 15.
That might make a difference. That might make a difference.
But I don't know. And I haven't drawn yet. So that's all happened. I've done all the things. I'm going to draw my 2 cards, and who the hell knows what they're going to be? It'll be great. Meh. This is a very important card. Meh. This is not.
myself what I have here.
I should read Shumagorath, even though he's not relevant for our audience at home. He's a 16/15 that says when Shumagorath enters play, you may recover and ready a stunned character you control. You know, that actually brings about an interesting question, which is, what happens when a character enters play stunned? I assumed his power
There's
would
no
trigger.
text.
Okay, so they enter play in the stun state. They never have the text. I accept that. I have no argument there. But I figured I would ask. And then I'm going to form, I guess, like this.
I think these cards are not going to avail me, and that's depressing.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well, let's get this off the table. You know this is going to happen.
So awful.
I think you're going to kill me with breakthrough. That's annoying.
It's the only way to kill you, so it better work.
I've got Superman.
Oh, God, you did have him.
Superman can't be stunned.
It's so awful. Oh, it's awful. It's real awful, Ian. Oh, God, I'm going to have to read this card very carefully. Okay, that can't quite do what I want it to do. I should note, I'm going to confirm real quick. I don't think this will matter. I do have a single Satana in my KO'd pile, so Satana is +2 attack.
I can't do this yet. In case you have another copy of that character.
Oh, I have already... I haven't recruited yet. That's a wise point.
I thought you had, and that's why I didn't.
No, you're totally correct. So the first thing I'm going to do is... Can I...
This front row Superman, Chris, is he can't be stunned while ready.
It's terrible. Can I... So this card says, activate, put the top card of your deck into your KO'd pile. Target stunned Underworld character you control can't be recovered or KO'd this turn. Can I pay the payment power without a valid target? I can't recall if you can do that.
I think that's usually not the case.
That's probably not, which is understandable. Look at this heap again. Oh boy. Oh boy. There sure is one thing I could do. I have a decision at this recruitment stage. Is it the right play or not? Might matter.
Did I pull Last Son of Krypton from this deck? I think I did.
Sad. That's something horrible. It's like destroy everything and everybody gets one
I
thing.
didn't have it. Yeah, it's an 8-cost plot twist that you can only play at the start of the recovery phase. And
Right.
it's pick a character, KO everything else.
Right.
Each of us.
Right. There is one thing I could do, and it might be the right choice. I think I've got to do it. I'm going to activate Rose Psychic to return Blackheart to my hand and recruit Blackheart.
Oh no, he's broken. I remember him being awful.
He is circumstantially valuable. I don't know why I'm shuffling this discard pile like it's my deck. It ain't. So it is worth noting that I now have 14 character cards
Okay.
in the pile. Blackheart says, activate. Put 3 character cards from your KO'd pile on the bottom of your deck to KO target character with cost 3 or less. Use only during the combat phase.
It's important.
Yes, it is. And now I just need to finalize any formation nonsense, which is probably like this. It's kind of weird, but I guess that's as good as any. Alright, it's the army of Supermen versus the mythical, magical, interdimensional forces of evil. Come at me, bro.
Well, I stop your dude from attacking, as I must.
You must. Yep.
You get to do so much breakthrough to me that I don't get to answer.
Maybe. I mean, you're gonna hit me hard back. You got some real big dudes.
Well, my first attack is a bounce,
Sure. I'm inclined to agree.
and then you attack and deal me 10 breakthrough.
Sure.
And then I attack and
It hurts.
get one of your characters and deal less breakthrough.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Then there's no more plays.
That's the turn. Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, man.
So I hit Dormammu with 9 cost Superman. I have to declare
Right.
that as my
You
initial
gotta
attack.
go after Dormammu. Now the question is, do I... There's no advantage to lowering your defense. So you have negated Dormammu. So that means I just have to make you bounce.
Yes.
Which
Literally, this attack is to make you activate Dweller in Darkness.
Yep, which I must do.
Which you must do.
So
You reduce my... It's 14? Or is it 13?
It is 14.
14?
So you
So
are...
my attack is
8.
8.
He's never useful. I don't understand.
And your attack is 1.
1. Yep. A 9-drop walks into a bar with a 7-drop. They punch each other and nobody cares.
Oh, God. And that's the first attack.
Yep, that's the first attack. So the next attack then is... Yeah, I mean...
It could be either. It's probably better to go for Superman. For 7 cost Superman.
Preach it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't stun 8-drop. Man, it's actually kind of tough to say, to be honest, because, like, the thing is, I think it actually has to be. Does it even matter? Does it even matter? It's silly. It might not even matter.
Well, here's a lot more through 7 cost.
Yeah, but that means I have to attack with Shuma. I guess I have to activate Dormammu to do the breakthrough anyway, so I can't reinforce anyway. I could attack...
Or you can hit... I mean, the alternative is hit to 8-drop and do only breakthrough, right?
Right.
That's what I'm seeing.
Right. So if I attack the 8-drop...
But I admit
and
I'm very
deal-
tired. This game has been going on quite a while.
Boy, you ain't kidding. So if I attack the 8-drop, your defense will be 4, but I can't stun him because Superman. I would be counter-stunned for 7. Yeah, it's got to be 7-drop because I actually
sure.
get the stun damage.
think
Yeah,
so.
that's exactly what it is. You're correct. And I must fire Dormammu now, clearly.
Before the combat?
Sorry. I think he has to target a character in combat.
So you attack 7
So I attack 7-drop, and then I reduce his defense by 14.
My defense is 2. That's absurd.
Yep. So actually,
But
yeah.
I'm presently getting the counter stun.
Yep.
So you'll take 7.
But I still have to do it that way, because if I don't, you'll get the counter stun, and I'm not
I'll
even stunning
take-
you.
21.
Yep.
Alright.
I take 7.
So I'm at negative 13.
Yep. Yep.
Really hope that's the difference.
So, alright. So I take 7, putting me at 9. Yeah, you got another dude.
Where are they? I think they go in my front row. I can't put him there. He goes here.
Yeah, another dude.
So you no longer have the tricks that let you reduce my stuff.
Yep. Oh, man, what does that Superman do?
That's the one that gives reinforcement and invulnerability, and I can move him. to
Gives
characters behind
reinforcement and invulnerability.
him. So he's not really useful.
Right.
Team attack him, I suppose. So I attack Dormammu with 8-drop Superman. I think now I make him vulnerable.
Yeah. Yeah. So your attack right now, what are you at? Negative 13? But your attack is 20.
20.
Which means if I do nothing, which seems possible, man, freaking stopping Noble Kill with that 7. That is unreal. How many cards in your hand?
3.
Sure is 3 cards. Yeah, so 4 breakthrough and 7 for the stun is 11 damage. Maybe a negative 4. I think that's how it goes down. So, this character...
He's stunned.
Yeah. yes.
Thank you.
Totes. So, I'm going to target Dormammu. This can't be recovered or KO'd this turn, but the payment is to put this card here, and then I'm going to do it again. I can't believe that worked.
You made sit down a little bigger.
What's that?
You made sit down a little bit.
Did. She is now 12 attack. And I'm going to team attack. 6-drop Superman 4. He does not have invulnerability at this second.
Right.
So I'm going to team attack him for 13. And I'm also, you can probably do whatever. Actually, you know what? Before I do that attack, I don't know if this matters. I'm going to KO Batman. We're going to get rid of him right now.
Smart.
And I will just, I have to put 3 characters from my KO upon the bottom of my deck. I will choose no Satanas, in case you're wondering. Then I'm going to do that. 13.
Yep. In that case, I'm going to play Man of Tomorrow. As an additional cost to play Man of Tomorrow, discard a Team Superman character card from your hand.
Lord.
Search your deck for a character card
What are
named
you
Superman. Reveal it and put it in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. What is your attack, by the way?
13.
I've just started shuffling my deck. I should go get a Superman, and then do that.
Cool. On board.
You knew what you were in for.
Why are things still happening? Oh, God.
And then I will attempt to deal the damage to Satana.
I see what you're doing.
And I will take 6.
Oh, God, you're awful. Okay, hold on. So, you brought about an interesting point. So, you've put that in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
I know what that means.
Yes.
So then, I need to do something even weirder. Which
So
is...
don't take 6.
You don't take damage yet.
You're going to try to stop your attack? I don't know what you're doing.
No. I see what you're doing. That's fine. I'm going to flip up Suture's Anvil. Activate. Put a
Sarters.
character card.
Sutures?
Surters.
Surters. Yeah.
Surters. Put a character card from your card pile on the bottom of your deck. I will choose a not Satana card to power up an Underworld attacker or defender.
Okay.
I will choose Satana. And then I will play Midnight Massacre. Target Underworld attacker you control gets +3, attack this attack. If that character is hidden, move it to your visible area. Gets +3 defense this attack.
So what's your defense?
My defense is now powered up once.
14.
So it is 14.
So now I power up with Catalyst Items.
I don't think I have anything to do about it.
And I stun Satana.
Oh well. I tried real hard. I still think that's the right play. I think that serves me well. So
No,
I
it was-
take
it was-
5,
I'll get one of these.
and you take 6.
And I take 6.
And nope, noble kills, just chilling.
And you're just at -5?
Yeah, something's not right.
Yeah, so that didn't seem right.
I should be at -9, I think.
I thought you were already negative.
Yeah, I
You
was.
took
I was
5.
at
Okay.
-4, and I just took 5, and I set the die at 5, which is not how math works. I am at -9.
Well,
And I literally have no cards in my hand, so the board is yours. I have no visible characters. How much you got?
2 powers.
For
1 victory.
11.
A 1-point victory.
I still have my life gain card.
Oh no!
Well, how much is it? It's 11.
So you win.
I
by
might.
1 or by 2 maybe.
I did get an extra stunned character from my attack.
I got nothing. That's all I got.
I'm at -20, but at the start of the recovery phase, I gained
What an ending!
Two-
oh my
two
god.
life for each.
Oh my god.
-14. -19 to -14. What do you think the odds are we didn't make any math errors in that game?
Probably not great. The same could be said of any 2-hour game. That was fantastic.
Wow.
Man.
It's been a long time since we've had a game that harrowing.
I drew. Listen.
I know.
Look, I am. Here's the thing, though. I haven't finished the thought.
This is true. You've started it about 7 times now.
I drew none of my attack pumps.
I
I've
kept
gone
waiting
this
for it.
far through my deck, and I didn't see
Yep.
one
Yep.
card that boosted
Yep.
my attack any.
Yep. So on the turn that I was so,
That's mind blowing.
I was similarly frustrated and bemused, but there was the turn where I had, on turn 7, I had Blackheart in my hand and top decked Shuma Gorath, which meant if I had not put Goblin Queen on the bottom of my pile, I could have pulled the trick of bringing her in from my KO'd pile and recovering her with Shuma. So instead of Dormammu, recruited a 6-drop and a 7 on 7 and done the really cool thing. Or, if I simply had Blackheart in my KO'd pile a turn earlier, I didn't need the bigger character to be dramatic because I bring him out, KO Batman, and you can't recruit your 8-drop.
Right.
And I couldn't make
In which
either
case,
of those work.
I used the search to get my other 8-drop.
Sure, which I didn't know was an option. But
that's a better 8-drop.
it's a stunnable 8-drop,
Yeah.
right?
He has a stunnable
That's
8-drop.
it's really, really important that he's stunnable. I'm always amazed that, that was a really interesting use of Blackheart because...
Well, I had a plot twist I could play that you stopped me from playing because you did it when you did. But it wasn't a super useful plot twist.
Right.
But you eliminated some of my options.
No, I realized as soon as I started doing that attack, and nothing had happened, and I'm like, wait a minute. Because here's the thing, I was going to KO him that attack anyway so that I could play Midnight Massacre. But I couldn't, but I should just do it preemptively. There's no value in that surprise. And then I'm like, well, maybe I can survive the attack, but I couldn't survive the attack because, of course, you had that stupid Cadmus Labs, which you saved, which you probably... Did you see 9-drop? Was he the one on the top of the deck?
No, he was in my hand already.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The reason I rolled that back was I needed my 5-drop to be stunned. I needed you not to be able to attack him this turn.
Right. Boy, what a.
So I was playing. I'm like, I'm gonna keep my 5-drop and play for the non-counter stuff. I'm like, wait, I need to get rid of my 5-drop while it's free.
Let's think of the insanity of the board position. At the final turn, you had a 7-drop, or let's see, you had a
9, 8,
hidden
7,
3-drop.
and a 3-drop.
But yeah, 9, 8, 7. I had
2
8
8s.
characters.
You had an 8, 2 7s, and a 6.
Yep. Yep. And by the end of the turn, I had played 100% of my cards. Every resource was flipped. Every card played or removed from my hand.
Oh, that must be what Chris is referring to. I thought for a moment he passed out and his head hit his keyboard.
Yeah, well, that could happen after a game like this. And even stuff like, I think I need to let Umar and the Nastir go away so that I can ditch the rest of my hand and boost the effectiveness of Dormammu and Dweller by another 4.
That's interesting. I never considered that as a purposeful play to power up your
Nor
powers.
had I
That's
ever.
insane.
I don't even know if I've played a game where I've ever used...
Oh, 0% chance we did the math right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
I believe it. Yep.
I don't even know if I've played a game where... I've always been mad at Dweller. He's always the backup. He doesn't have flight. His stats are average, and his power is exhaust your
Saved
6-drop
your butt, though.
to beat Superman, apparently. And to have both him and Dormammu...
Well, I have to exhaust my 7-drop to beat your 8-drop, which just wins the game. So I feel you.
But I need my 8-drop, or I can't ever get through your 9-drop, or your 8-drop, because they're both unstunnable. So nobody in my whole deck or anyone's deck can beat those guys unless I can reduce your defense by a ton, which exactly one card in the game can do, or bypass your entire team, which about 2 characters in the game can do. Which is the silliest stuff that was.
That was awesome. What a game.
I'm genuinely exhausted.
I'm pretty beat. I mean, I started beat, but wow.
Yep. Yep.
5-point spread, turn 9.
Yep. And if I hadn't been able to KO Batman, you would have won by 1.
Well,
or no.
we would have
Oh,
tied.
God. I
If
can't
you
even.
didn't KO
I'm not-
Batman, we tie.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, jeez.
I can't believe you had 2 characters I couldn't stun. And so the way I had to win was to reduce your defense by 1 billion and hit you through your only weakness, your gigantic 7-drop. Oh.
Good times.
Boy, we were overdue for a game like that, but that's why we play this game.
Yep. So Stream 51, pretty solid.
Pretty solid. It's alright, Chris. There's YouTube is
Well, I'm glad you stuck around with us.
Yep.
That was pretty great.
Yep.
Good that someone was here for that.
You're as close to live as you can get while being in another state, I think. The only thing you really missed out on was our expressions throughout.
Sure,
and to be
sure.
fair, there were a lot of expressions.
There were, yeah.
All right. We should call it. It's late.
Yeah, it's quite late. We're way
wow.
past. We
I
started
think that-
way early, and we're way past.
But we
where
only
we
played 3
stopped.
games. I think that was
We only played 3 games.
You
It was
think
an hour
that
and a
hit
half.
2 hours?
I don't think it hit 2, but it was an hour and a half game for sure.
All right.
Well, thanks,
We'll
thanks,
call it
Chris,
a
for
day.
sticking with us. Thanks to anybody who's watching on YouTube or also
always a
on
pleasure
Twitch. And
to our
we'll
fans.
see you next week.
Absolutely. Good night.